Probably right.
What up? What up?
Better chance that you're right than I know.
What's going on, everybody? We're back for our first episode on Tackle Tuesdays. Look at that. Today we're gonna be digging into spinnerbaits. As you can see next to me, to my right, our good friend Paul Batters is in the house, and to our left, the ghost of Riverboat Rob.
Oh, it was not in the kitchen, by the way.
Probably Chad's tackle box.
That's what I'm thinking.
You know the SV3?
You got one sitting right there. I see it. White python.
Oh yeah. So tonight, guys, we're gonna be going over spinnerbaits. We're gonna be getting into the nitty gritty on the spinnerbaits. Different colors. They got different hooks, different skirts, different blades, different colors. Hammered blades, Colorado blades, willow blades, you name it. There's a billion different things to get into.
Don't forget the Indiana blade.
Ooh, look, Paul's dropping in some more fire.
Indiana, but getting all technical.
Mm-hmm. Let's check into Facebook and see what's
I'm
going
about
on.
to start sharing the link. See what we got so far. But
I like sure, but your service here sucks. So
nah, we're
Yeah,
on.
the service here does suck. We are on. I didn't know if Restream was being weird or like what was going on because it wasn't loading in at first. So, but it's our first episode, Tackle Talk Tuesday. We're gonna be digging into spinnerbaits. Paul's next to me. I got Riverboat Rob with us, and yeah, this is gonna be interesting because there is just so much information.
yeah, spinnerbaits are that's a category that seems so simple, but there's a lot of nuances to spinnerbaits that different times of the year you're throwing different things, different colors, etc. To really hone down the situational pattern within the spinnerbaits. Because as you can see, we have I have 10 or 15 spinnerbaits here in front of me. I'm throwing them all in different situations.
I'm guessing that's not that many spinnerbaits for you.
Oh no, I saw the box earlier.
Here's mine. That's my
It's
boat
not
box.
even. It's not even a quarter of them.
Right.
But
That's
I
my
mean-
boat box.
I mean, spinnerbaits is one of those baits that you can throw almost year round. I'm not throwing a spinnerbait, say dead of winter, springtime, summertime, fall.
Let me correct you there. You can throw a
You're not
spinnerbait.
throwing a spinnerbait in the fall?
You can throw a spinnerbait
Yes,
year
you
round.
can.
Oh, you can.
So you can throw a
I'm
spinnerbait.
sorry, I was sharing the link.
Throwing spinnerbaits dead in the dead of winter, certain places produces really well. I've caught fish down into the low 40s on spinnerbaits and caught big ones and lots of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of how you fish it and being able to create the
Gracias.
reaction bite from it. So that really goes into the differences in the blade types, your blade colors,
Thanks, man.
things like that. So you can 100% catch fish on a spinnerbait in the dead of winter.
So I mean, like, so if say you're fishing in the dead of winter, are you sticking with your normal summertime spinnerbait, or are you gonna go to a different blade type? Or are you gonna
Probably
downsize the
heavier
size
weight.
of your spinnerbait?
So I actually throw a bigger bait in the wintertime. That's a little juice for everybody out there.
Mm-hmm.
I throw a bigger spinnerbait, or not so much a bigger spinnerbait, but bigger blades. And the reason it's not for a bigger profile is because I can work it slower. So
Right.
with a bigger blade, for example, here's one of my top wintertime spinnerbaits right here. This has a giant number 5 willow leaf blade on it. And the reason for that is I can work it super slow and just crawl it across the bottom.
And just keep that thump going.
Yep.
And just keep on the thump. So the size of the blades also has a huge part in what makes a spinnerbait more seasonal than other spinnerbaits.
Yes.
More vibration.
Well, it's not just about vibration. You also have to look at bait size. So later in the year, you're going to throw a bigger blade because the bait's bigger. You figure you'll get the shad spawn in May. When in May you're throwing a smaller blade because the shad is spawn. Those spawn the patch. They're real small. As you get later in the year, those shad grow. Shad grow really quickly. So, they're going to get to that larger normal size shad size by the fall. So by the time the fall rolls around, you're throwing a bigger blade to better imitate that bait size.
Yeah, right now, I feel as though, it's hard. It's hard in a lot of places right now where you're going to go fish because there's just bait balls everywhere. And how do you compete with all that natural bait per se? And in of itself, the spinnerbait kind of imitates a bait fish or maybe a couple little small bait fish together
Little bait ball.
with like maybe a little tiny bait ball in of itself. So I think one thing that definitely sets spinnerbaits apart is obviously like your blades and your different thumps, but you can also give them a completely different color and profile than what is swimming around.
Do you know
So-
that? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
That's exactly what I was going to say. When you have a lot of bait around, you want something that's similar to that bait. So let's say you have a lot of shad around. So this is a real natural shad color. If I remember correctly, this is a Picasso spinnerbait, and I believe it's called like Silver Flash or something like that. It's a very natural shad color.
Yeah, it is.
So if you have a lot of bait around, it just kind of blends in. So if I might switch to like a plain white skirt because it stands out a little more.
Mhm.
Did you know? And it's an interesting fact. You throw in there. Mega Bass was the first spinnerbait company to make the head shaped like a bait fish.
Really?
Yes, it's very true.
How long
Yeah.
ago was that? Because Booyah's been doing it since the 90s.
But it probably was before that. But seriously, Mega Bass.
Mega
So,
Bass has been out for a while. I don't think it's
Randy
been
Blockett.
mainstream over here for very long.
I'm sure you're familiar.
Let's not mention his name on this.
Okay.
When you're in my presence.
But that's where I get that info from. Let's put it that way. So,
The clickbait king.
right, yeah, it's definitely clickbait. I agree 100%. But the Mega Bass spinner, well, let's not talk too much about that just yet. We'll get into that later. So, in wintertime, what kind of blades would you say, Paul? Well, dirty. So
and
let's go clear water wintertime.
So wintertime, early spring. Where are we at here? So single Colorado.
Yeah.
You want a lot of thump. So even dead of winter, you would think the opposite. You would want something real finessey, but you really want a lot of thump. So and this is something that I learned from listening to KVD.
Mm-hmm.
Bass are very territorial in the wintertime. So when you get something with a lot of thump coming near them, they're going to hit it just to get it out of their area.
Reaction, right?
It's one of the reasons why like a wiggle wart works so well in the wintertime.
This
A
one.
wiggle wart's got wiggle wart. People think of a wiggle wart as kind of a finesse crankbait, but it's got a very wide wobble, very erratic.
Hunting action. Yeah.
So it's really that thump, and I think I have experienced that as well, where you can throw a very large Colorado blade in the wintertime. I usually throw a half ounce, depending on how deep I'm fishing, sometimes 3/4. And that thump is going to create your reaction blade because they're just trying to get it out of their way.
Right. They're not trying to eat it. They're just in defense mode.
Yep.
So I see you got a swim bait on there for a trailer. Is that your go-to swim bait? Your go-to trailer?
So trailers are another thing that we could talk for hours on, but you'll notice that I have two different kinds of trailers on here.
Paddle tail, and then you have more of a
Just a very little action.
Put that one away there.
Yeah, that's so.
good one.
Yeah.
So your trailer also has an effect on the way your spinnerbait acts. If you have like a paddle tail on, a paddle tail is going to make it rise in the water, just like a swim bait does. You're familiar with swim baits. Paddle tail swim bait pretty much always rises when reeler, right? So it does the same thing on the back of a spinnerbait. So I can take this half-ounce single Colorado spinnerbait, put a little paddle tail on the back of it, and it'll fish about 6 inches about 6 inches higher in the water.
higher in the water column.
That's how I like to fish spinnerbait. Not to
Yeah,
get too
now
much.
I would also think I would consider this bait to also be probably a pretty decent muddy water spinnerbait too.
Yep.
I think that golden
Colorado.
big thump of a Colorado blade is another
Yeah.
good way to get that reaction bite in the mud. Make it heard, make it felt. Where maybe some of the other spinnerbaits just kind of bypass
So,
them and they don't even know it's
Bass,
there.
bass and muddy water rely on that lateral line and the vibration from the Colorado blade. They don't feed on sight as much because the water's muddy. So
Yeah, they're up,
The
a lot of times
vibration.
they're uptight on the cover and stuff.
Right.
So unless you drag it right onto
Yeah.
their face,
hey, what's up, Brian? What's up, Pete? I think when the water gets real muddy, if they are so we know lately they've been in the grass. Everybody knows that. So it's not really a lot of
Muddy
juice.
water, special water.
But I think the muddy water makes them hug tighter to the wood. They seem
Absolutely.
like when they're on wood, they're real tight to it.
The other
when it's
thing,
muddy.
that
Yeah.
muddy water will do that not a lot of people realize is they'll go shallower.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're even in something like like the canals,
Mhm.
where you're only fishing a couple feet of water, or at the deepest,
Right.
they'll push right up on the bank because they can see better the shallower the water is.
And
You
get
ever
real-
notice if you're in muddy water and you go up against the bank, you look at it, you see the bottom and this far out. Well, the bass needs to see as well, as well as using its lateral line. So the shallower the water is, the closer they can trap that bait. If they're out here, 4 feet off the bank, that bait can really spread out. But when they get up real close to the bank, they can see the bait better and they're gonna eat better.
Yeah. Yeah, and they get real tight to the cover.
Yep.
When it's muddy for some reason. I don't know why, but they hug up on the cover real tight.
Following the bait.
Also, oh come on, Chloe, what you doing?
Chloe,
I got
get out!
I got to unplug.
Get out!
I got to plug it back up now. Sorry. Sorry.
Out!
Sorry. She had it. She
Shut
had
the
it.
door,
She had it around her legs. I got it.
The
No.
dog just knocked over a bunch of our audio equipment.
Dog calls it pink spinnerbait with one Colorado and one willow leaf blade. And if I'm correct, like some crazy, because I know what he throws because it's my brother, and it's like some crazy ass colored trailer that doesn't even freaking go with it. Like pink spinnerbait with black and blue crawfish trailer and catch one every time, dude.
Never
Swear to God, dude.
one
Swear to God.
paint.
That's a
No, usually it's a fluke trailer. Now I don't give up his shoot, but swear to God, he was like, "Oh, we ain't catching them. It's time to go to the pink and bang."
So that's a story for another show. But contrasting trailers are you don't know about them.
Yeah.
I like mine to look pretty.
Big pop.
I want my trailer matching my spinner bait. Is that so bad?
You-
Just looks juicy. You know what I mean?
It's not your car with rims on it.
Black and,
Right, but I'm just saying.
black and blue jig with a green pumpkin trailer.
That's why my brother, he'll smack on them too, dude. And it'd be like a pink spinner bait with freaking June bug
So,
lizard
I noticed,
before a trailer, dude.
He had the paddle tail on there. I'll tell you one thing, for me, most commonly, I don't actually run a trailer on any of my spinnerbaits. I don't. My mega basses, I have an SV3. As we get closer to the mic,
I had one.
I have an SV3, and the skirt
Well, it's kind of got a built-in trailer.
kind of has a semi-built-in trailer there. But if you don't notice, you can see there. I
Trailer hook.
always run trailer hook.
I do as
You-
well.
You're not going to see a spinnerbait and or a chatterbait for that matter. That's a different topic.
So I only run a trailer hook.
Never without a trailer.
I only run a trailer hook if I need a trailer hook.
I know.
The trailer hook will hang more than running it without. So I can throw this into some
So
bullshit
you're saying if you're
and not
throwing
get hung up. But if I have a trailer hook on it, I got way more chance that I'm going to get hung up because what happens? So let me see yours with the
I agree with
trailer
Martin.
hook on it.
Um,
So what happens when you have your trailer hook here and you come up, say you reel the spinnerbait into a wall and it comes up over the top, it always kicks sideways. Now you have this hook flopping around here, and that will get 9 times out of 10 that's going to get hung in.
Right.
so
I try not to fish it unless I have to. Now that being said, we'll open it.
I always
I
fish one.
So,
I mean, a lot of the times that this
There's always trailer hooks in here.
of course. So what you're saying, Paul, is you'll throw it without a trailer hook, but if they're short striking it,
I'll put one on immediately.
put one on. Oh, you know, he hit it, but he didn't get hooked.
But you just lost that 6-pounder because you didn't have the trailer hook on the first time.
So
Yeah, or I lost my spinnerbait because I got hung into the giant treetop I was throwing.
I see the 800 more that you have in that box.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
But you got to get it through the tree to get the bite.
The-
If you get hung in the tree, you're not going to get the bite.
the
Gotta
SV3.
go swimming.
The SV3.
The SV3.
It does indeed have a trailer built in.
It does.
So does the Jamaican boa. It's kind of the same.
Some
The
I
Jamaican
still-
Bella Buzzbait also has the same.
Yeah, the
trailer.
Jamaican boa.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I still put a trailer on it anyways. And a trailer hook.
some
I do not throw a spinnerbait without a trailer hook. I'm not taking that chance.
some brands, like this is a strike-in, you know, you can see you have the Magic skirt where it kind of has a built-in trailer as well, just using the skirt. So you see how that little bit
Mhm.
hangs down there. It's same idea as the Mega Bass, but a lot of people do that. Like if I'm throwing a spinnerbait like this, I won't throw a trailer on.
Really? I will.
Now, if it's got like the Strike King Magic skirt or like War Eagles do the same thing, where they have that little bit of
Yeah.
extra. Yeah, they have that little bit of extra on the interior, so it's this part of the skirt in here. You guys can see
Just
that.
a
So
little
the
bit
old
longer.
the old Terminator T9s did the same thing.
Terminator's
That was a really
badass
good-
spinnerbait.
That was a good spinnerbait.
Terminators used to make
Yes, it
some
was.
really good spinnerbaits. Their
Yeah.
newer ones are kind of junk, but
Yeah.
What's
they're
the
old
no? It
ones.
was Yozori.
The old titanium series. Yeah.
Who made the
you know how
spinnerbait?
expensive those things are now. Like to try to get new old
Well, like
stock.
on
Yeah,
eBay.
they're like $30 or $40.
Who made the spinnerbait look like the ball? Was that Yozori?
That was Yozuri.
Yozori.
They
You
call
throw
that the
No,
the
but
knuckle.
I definitely got one of those in a freaking giveaway though.
Chicken
The
Palooza
knuckle.
and Yozori.
Whatever they call it, knuckle something.
Yeah,
I know they call it knuckle something.
I never flew it.
It didn't last very
It
long.
was like the helicopter lure to me. I'm not into that.
I mean, we have a bunch of different. So I mean, I'll just list off a couple. Obviously, I have Mega Bass up here.
I
have a
don't know
Meg-
where
I have a
mine's at.
Mega
dude. I
Bass.
got a tackle warehouse order that I don't even remember what I ordered that we're going to unbox as
Well,
well.
we're definitely gonna get.
You can see what I ordered. I don't remember honestly. I think I kind of know what's in there. I think it was some weight baits and some soft plastic, but I don't 100% remember.
This is the SV3 in white, and this is the SV9 over here in my springtime orange color. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but they have different shaped heads. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing.
I'm
with
trying
that.
to think which one is which off the top of my head. I should have done more.
Uh,
I
well-
actually looked it up before I came on. One of these is more designed for a burn-in.
Which is
this
this
more
one. The Mega Bass, you
burning
can
in.
roll slow. The head is wider.
Yeah.
That's why they put the flat head on the bottom like
Mhm.
that, so you can roll it slower.
They actually have
It
different.
keeps it up.
Yeah.
Clean. It makes
Yeah.
it clean out.
Yeah,
They
so
have
that's
different
what you can
head
burn.
designs. One of them is actually designed to burn. It's designed to burn in. Another one is designed for more deeper
That one's
rolling
probably
and
deeper.
rolling a little bit
Yeah.
more.
So this one. So see how the head's real narrow,
Mhm.
Right.
and on your other one, see how it's
It's
wide.
wide, it's real
So
flat.
that flat head will cause
Keep it up.
It'll cause it to plane out
Right.
and run a little shallow.
Yep.
So just differences in head designs.
Differences in head designs.
I'm
for
pretty
different
simple.
techniques with. Now, I'm not saying you can't throw both of these things for the same exact thing, but this is what some of the bait companies put out there, and this is what they state
So
about these different lures. This is the SV9 and this is the SV3. You're going deep and you're burning in shallow. I
Hey,
mean,
bro,
that makes a difference. They're both the same weight. They're both half ounce. One thing I will say about Mega Bass spinnerbaits, because we're on the topic of the Mega Bass spinnerbaits. Don't horse these spinnerbaits.
that's 1,000%.
These are fantastic spinnerbaits. These are expensive spinnerbaits. These spinnerbaits break easily. Because these baits have a much more sensitive wire.
nice thin wire creates more
Mhm.
vibration.
Yep.
The more sensitive wire creates more vibration, but it
Before-
also breaks
Look at this.
before Paul gets into what he's about to get into, really
That's
quick.
wire.
Yeah,
I go
really quick. Before we move on, just want to say what's up to Brian Wheeler. Martin Payne's in the house. Brian Dyson said double Indiana blades. He says we'll address that in a few minutes. I might have missed the comment. Anyone else that's on, welcome. And then Paul's got like 5 spinnerbaits in his hand, so I know this is going to get juicy. So let's hear it.
That is a beautiful display right there, if I might say.
Yeah.
So if you one thing you'll notice, these are spinnerbaits that I throw on a daily basis. Or I won't say I don't throw them all on a daily basis, but this is the brand of spinnerbaits that I throw all the time. Big Mouth Lures, local Maryland company, works on the eastern. He's out of the Eastern Shore down in Denton, Maryland. Makes, in my opinion, the best spinnerbait on the market. That's why that's all I throw.
This guy's a tackle junkie too, I will say.
So
we are.
one thing that you'll notice with mine, they all have the same head design. These are 6 different kinds of spinnerbaits, 6 different blade combinations. They all have the same head design, and I do that particular because this head design comes through wood really well.
I want to say,
And when I'm fishing a spinnerbait, sorry,
Just as a
Hey,
good
go,
reflection,
keep going. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I'm just noticing a color pattern going on here.
a lot of chartreuses. So think about most of the water that we fish. And most of the water we fish is dirty most of the time, unless you get over into certain areas of the gunpowder, things like that.
Right.
If you're fishing on the Upper Bay, you're fishing on the Potomac, you're fishing a lot of dirty water. So that's why I have a lot of chartreuses there.
So to me, and I don't mind giving it up, a split tail trailer like Paul has on here. You already know what's my trailer, Paul?
It's a Zoom split tail.
Yes, sir. Yeah, a split tail trailer. I don't like a trailer. I don't like a raised crawl for a trailer.
I don't.
It's too much action.
I don't throw any.
The blades are already. Yeah, I don't. No, I don't want to focus that much on the trailer. I just want a little trailer. You know what I mean? I don't. This one's under the table bait. You can't.
That one's not
like,
big.
it's under
This
the
is
table.
off. This is
That
off
one's
limits
off.
right here.
That's. I think we'll get that one around. You like that one?
Yeah.
That's a fire color. I really, really like
I
this.
throw that one more.
It give me I like. Where's mine? I lost my freaking mega bass spinnerbait. I think Craig stole my spinnerbait.
What
I
is
didn't steal nothing.
Did you get Craig?
Pat me down.
So you
Maybe
make,
it is in my pocket. No, I don't have nothing. Oh
make
my
a-
God, wait, it's underneath my
Ah,
seat.
he doesn't have it. Oh, you stole my spinnerbait, dude. That's
No, it
messed
just
up.
happened to be laying
How
underneath
you
my
like that
chair. I
color?
really don't know how it got there.
How you like that color, dude?
you make a
You made me go up and look in the kitchen and all around your house.
No, I swear to God, I really didn't know it was
I don't know if I believe that.
so you make a good point, Rob, about colors and similarity of colors. So if I'm throwing a spinnerbait, 99.9% of the time I'm trying to imitate shad. So
Yes.
shad.
I agree.
There's nothing else that
I
really
agree.
swims like that.
I will throw a bluegill color. So every now and then, if they're eating bluegills,
Mhm.
bluegill color will
Yellow
Or that's what I would say.
Bluegill,
I would say this is
shad.
like a bluegill
Yellow
color.
perch, bluegill, shad, but also we have a lot of
yellow perch. Oh, you want yellow perch?
right, exactly. We have a lot of LY too.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of the same color as the shad.
Yeah.
Right, same as shad color.
Yeah, white.
I was in the pond. It was not a good experience for me Sunday because I broke down. I thought I was going to have to call Evan or one of y'all to come tow me back in. My motors, it's the whole thing. But either way, there were huge bait balls of LY in the pond over the weekend. Like huge. Like
Yeah,
you could see them on top, just like this big bait ball of LYs just everywhere. And the bass weren't biting, of course.
you can make them bite, but they're going to be suspended.
So I caught a snakehead, I caught one bass, and then I was like, I'm gonna run out of the pond, but then my motor didn't start. So I had to troll across the whole flat up into the canal and halfway out before my motor would start because it flooded. It's a whole thing with my motor
We got to
going
dig
on
into
right
that.
now. Yeah, but I just ordered a new carburetor
I was
for
going
it.
to say, it sounds like your car's bad.
Yeah, I just got a new carburetor for it. And the worst case scenario, I'm gonna hit up Greg Hall and be like, hey Greg, you know Greg's a mechanic. Like, Greg, you need to help me, dude. But either way, like, terrible day. Dude, then I know it's a spinnerbait show, but y'all gotta hear this. Sunday was crazy at Mariner Point Park. Our car I missed it. I swear to God, I wish I would have got it on video. A car went head first down the boat ramp. No trailer, just a car, into the water. It had to be towed out. They had to get a tow truck to pull it out. I missed the whole thing. I get back to the boat ramp with my effed up motor, already pissed. I got to try a trolling motor on my trailer. I don't know if you ever did that. That shit's retarded.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
We don't have like glass.
Yeah. And then, like, people were talking about this. Oh, dude, you missed it. Freaking car rode right down the boat ramp in the water. And a dude over at the end ramp, if you're coming in, the one all the way on the right, launches with no plug in his boat. And his boat's sinking. So I'm like, dude, you gotta jump in the water and put a plug in it. They didn't want to jump in the water. I was like, you want me to jump in the water and put a plug in it? And they was like, well, we don't have the plug. So apparently theirs was like, like my plug like hangs out the back.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, they didn't have a plug. So I was like, you want me to? I'll stuff a frog or something in that shit if you want. Like,
yeah, like.
And it was like, well, no, he's already getting the car.
Bonsai over there,
Dude. Yeah, right. I'll take like a plastic frog or worms or something, stick it in the hole. So they pulled.
Take a wet rag or something in there to keep it from.
They pulled the truck and trailer up. Now, mind you, it's Sunday. And you remember how the weather was Sunday, so the boat ramp is packed, right? So they pulled the trailer up, and they decide to keep it on that slope right there, all the water, and block the boat ramp. Like block, you could not get your boat in and out.
Oh,
and I'm sitting there trying to control the motor on my trailer. It was so disgusting, dude. I was just like, I was gonna call it, hey, Chad, just come over here, just get down, shoot me. Yeah, shoot me, just kill me, dude, because I want to die. It was that bad, dude. Cars are driving in the water. People are launching with no plugs in their boats, and then sit there. And then the kayakers, they don't even get to start, dude. And then the kayakers come. And,
oh man, we got too much going on with spinnerbaits.
I'm just saying, I didn't mean to get off topic, but I was like, y'all should have been there. I would have called Hippie Gibbs. He would have came to me, but I just was like, trolling motor. I put trolling motor on because I got a motor guy, so I put it on 10 and put the pedal to the metal, and it got me,
roll out.
I
call it trolling motors. I had a tournament on Saturday. I was able to really test those lithiums out.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody who has a 50 amp hour lithium and says that they can fish a full day and more on it, they're full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
I used 37% of my battery on 100 amp hour in a 9-hour tournament.
Oh wow!
So either they only fish one tree all day, or they're full of crap.
How did you go, by the way?
You also have, I think you're bigger, heavier.
I caught them on a spinnerbait.
Oh,
there it is.
Perfect segue.
Perfect.
I don't know how many people watched my last video.
The spinnerbait was a hammer for us on the old John boat in the springtime too. I always throw a spinnerbait.
Wait till the fall.
Summertime, man. So
if you watch my last video, you can. It's obvious to tell that I've been on a spinnerbait bike lately.
I am not a fan of throwing spinnerbait in the grass. I'm not a fan of it. I won't say
over the grass.
I won't say I won't do it.
Right.
I don't like throwing a spinnerbait in grass. Around grass.
It's a pain in the ass.
Like I said, I'm not against it. I know. I would rather throw a swim jig. So
yeah,
personally, spinnerbaits for me are would be, for the most part. I'll throw your, sometimes.
Shut up.
You can, I'll take a double, you take a double willow and you can run it through the grass. And then,
over the grass.
I'll run through the grass.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not touching the grass, I'm not catching fish.
I try to.
You gotta be taking that grass with it.
So I can run a spinnerbait. I'm not going to say which one. Almost like a buzzbait, dude.
Same with that.
Yeah, double willow leaf, definitely. Almost like a buzzbait, dude.
Even
it's not quite top water, but right under.
That's a half-ounce spinnerbait. I can run that thing in 6 inches.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I prefer. Like, I'm not the guy that's going to go out and get like half-ounce, 3/4 ounce spinnerbait, throw it out there and just slow roll it on the bottom.
Well, it's different.
It's almost top water to me.
Especially in grass.
If this is.
I'm not slow rolling a spinner. I'm not slow rolling a spinnerbait anywhere near grass.
I mean,
No, not
Like,
grass.
I'm fishing fast.
you got to burn through.
We
the
fish
You're picking
grass
up way
together
too
and I
much
was throwing
grass.
spinnerbait.
Yeah.
So you already
No, I know. I know what you mean.
I think you pick up way too much grass going too slow. You want to be in the grass, but you don't want to be in the grass. You want to be in the grass as calm, but you don't want to go.
Yeah, you want to be at the. You want to be.
You
in
don't want
the
to be
top
down
of
in the
grass.
muck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to just be ticking that top. You want the hook to just be grabbing the tips of those blades and making a little bit of movement.
Rob Steiner's. So,
Right, yeah, that's what I was just reading.
Curl tail grill for the trailer, absolutely. That's old school right there. Just a plain, single tail grill.
Mr. Twister.
Mr. Twister. I like a Zoom Fat Albert. I've thrown that as a trailer before. But that's a good one, Rob.
Heck, my brother said I had trolling motor. You would told me. I know you would have, Pete. I had.
But yeah,
Hey, look. So I was
that's-
like, my thing was like, I'm
Very.
trolling motor in and try to fish, and I picked up one or two on the way back in. So,
Were you throwing
Brian Dyson, swim jig all day.
in the grass?
There's no vibration when a swim jig.
I mean,
So you're. I don't know if I should say this, but
Well, don't say it then.
you're creating a reaction bait when you're yanking it out of the grass. So you're reeling that swim jig in. It's going to get caught on a piece of grass, and you're snapping it. As soon as you snap it, that's where you're getting your bites.
boom.
So you don't need necessarily a lot of vibration.
Little Bradley, what's up, man? Where you been? I
What's
haven't
up,
seen
Brad?
you on the river all year, man. Little Bradley said, "Do you use a trailer on a spinner bait 100% of the time?" Bradley,
This goes
I do.
differently across the table.
I do.
I never put a trailer.
No,
on
all
my
the time.
spinnerbaits.
I use a trailer and
I
a
never
trailer
use a
hook
trailer on my
all the
spinnerbaits.
time.
Like I said, I do depending on what type of spinnerbait I'm throwing.
Mhm.
What kind of skirt I'm throwing really is what it is.
Right.
I'm going trailer and trailer hook. So I had way too many short strikes on too many good fish where I can't
I
not
will-
put a trailer hook on it.
So here's what I'll tell you about getting short strikes, and it goes for spinnerbaits, crankbaits, anything. If you're getting short strike, you're probably not throwing the right color.
Yeah,
That's true, too.
Absolutely. Now, it could literally just be a small
Right.
difference in the color. Like it might not even just be like you might be throwing white and getting a short strike. I'm not saying you need to go to like green pumpkin or black,
Yeah,
but you
like
might need to.
chartreuse.
Yeah, you might need to throw a
That's
little bit of
good.
chartreuse in there or something with a little bit of a different white,
Different
like,
blade
bait,
color.
different blade
I
color.
mean, there's so many things that can make a difference.
Oh my God.
when you're
When you catch a fish, right? When you catch a fish, if he swallowed your bait,
Mhm.
you got the right bait and
Oh,
the
yeah.
right color. If it's
Absolutely.
just kind of hooked, barely hooked,
it's easier to tell with crankbaits. Like spinnerbaits, like they're almost always going to be hooked like in the top of the mouth
Yep.
for the most
Mhm.
part.
but like a frog, let's take a frog for example. If they swallow that frog, like you open their mouth and it's in their throat like that, you got the right bait. To me, I always like, oh, that's the right bait.
We'll talk about frogs another time.
That's
Yeah,
a
frogs another
whole-
show.
Another show.
But point being is, you could tell if you're throwing the right bait by the way they ate it.
For sure, yeah. Even you can tell when they're
Yeah.
swiping at a spinnerbait. Like if they're
Right.
swiping at a spinnerbait, you might hook them on the outside of the mouth.
Right.
I've done that a ton of times.
Right,
And
you
you're
gotta
not
get-
throwing the exact. It's something is off, and you have to. And that's the key to fishing spinnerbaits is figuring out what that is. So figuring out how they're eating it, how they what speed they want. You may be reeling it. It might be as simple as you're reeling it too fast.
Mhm.
right.
And
Yeah.
you're not in it. So that's the difficulty with fishing a spinnerbait is figuring that stuff out.
That's what I'm saying. With there's so many different variations with a spinnerbait is you can have the same exact spinnerbait, but you can also fish it 100 different ways. Like the
Right.
thump of your blade and the vibration that your blade puts off also changes depending on how you're cranking in the freaking bait.
Well,
Right.
It's like
That's another good
as
point.
Paul was saying, like your thump changes, your vibration changes just by the way that you're speeding it up. Like you might not even have to go, like you were saying, to maybe a different color or a different blade by itself. The blade might just have to spin a little bit faster and give a different vibration, and that might hit it. And like I think
So you bring that's a very good point, Chad. But your retrieve is incredibly important. How do you retrieve spinnerbait? Are you a steady retrieve spinnerbait kind of person?
I am.
I'm so like
So steady. A lot of people are like that.
Yeah.
So
I like
if
to
you're-
pause 2 or 3 times within my.
so you're a
retrieves.
pause. I pump. So
You-
if I'm reeling in, I'm steady reeling,
Okay.
but
I like to pump.
but Like, straight fish.
Don't pump the
so-
camera over.
So I'm gonna pump my rod as I'm coming
Right.
in, and that pump of the rod, I'm never gonna stop reeling, but that pump of the rod, all what that does is
That-
causes the skirt to flare,
Right.
and that'll trigger a bite.
Do you
Same thing
do
with the paws. The paws does the same thing.
They
Do
kinda
you
stop,
feel like-
fall.
Do you feel
Come
like
back up.
that's usually when you get your bite?
You'll get it right after.
Yeah.
You'll get it right
So
after.
I have
So there's
thrown.
two times you're gonna get it straight. In my opinion, on a spinnerbait, or the two most common times. When you create something, when you create a movement in the bait,
Erratic.
like an erratic action, like a
Right.
flaring of the skirt with the pump of the rod, or you bump cover.
Pull through
No,
grass,
don't
bump
do
cover.
not fish a spinner bait.
I said bump cover. I didn't say what kind of cover.
And
It
try to
counts for
bump
any kind of
cover.
cover. It doesn't
That's-
matter if
doesn't
it's
work.
rock, wood, grass. You have to be touching cover.
He gave up too much juice, and now I
That's
can't
not
even
juice.
think what I was going to say.
Don't worry, Rob. That's not juice. Everybody knows about it.
I know that. So, I'm totally, really, honestly, the first time in my life ever, I got nothing to say.
You just gotta, the reaction bites are all, I think that has to do with, like, we're talking about spinnerbait specifically, but that has to do with everything. If I'm not taking cover with my,
That's what
if
I
I'm
was
not
gonna
taking
say.
cover with my crankbait, if I'm not taking cover with my big swim baits, my paddle tails, my citizens, if I'm not bouncing off shit, if I'm not, I mean, like,
Cover
I'm
contact.
saying,
is
like, obviously,
the most
like,
important
obviously
thing, I
now
think.
top water, like, you're not bumping off cover per se, unless you're going from.
Well, they got
So, like, you're open water, but like,
Yeah, but
you're
you're
throwing it over top of cover.
Yeah, you're throwing it over top. But you can be
It's
throwing it over top
always-
water and open water.
I remember what I was going to say, actually. I was going to, I didn't cut you off. Yeah. Do you feel like that's when you get the bite? When you
When you
make
when
a
you pump
erratic movement with it,
Yeah.
you know, like a crankbait.
I
You're
always
fishing
try-
a crankbait, you want it banging on those rocks.
I
You
always
feel
try
it
to-
bang on a rock. Usually you get the bite after that.
I
You know,
always
so-
try to think like when I'm reeling in a spinnerbait, I always try to think that there's always a fish behind it. Like, what am I going to do to make that fish bite? Like, if he's just following, what am I going to do to make that fish bite? Either I'm going to run it into that tree over there. There's limb sticking up. Either I'm going to run into that limb, or I have to impart some sort of action onto it. Because if you think about it, watch a bait fish swim in the water.
Mhm.
Bait fish doesn't swim in a straight line.
Trying
Right.
to get it away.
It's gonna, if it's trying to get away, you'll see it, skitter a little bit.
Yeah.
And you have to do the same thing with your bait, and that's a really important with spinner baits, because if you've ever watched a spinner bait come through the water, it just does that. It doesn't really do anything. But when you
must
start
give the
pumping it,
bait some action.
Rod selection as well.
yes,
So I'm a little different. So
Oh, that is another huge point. Rob.
actually, yeah,
That's another
let's go with that because I
massive
don't want to
point
say what I was
Rob
going to
brings
say
up. I mean,
anyway.
for real, it really is.
I agree, Brian. It definitely depends on what you're fishing, the way you fish.
Right. So in time of year, water clarity, water clarity,
Water clarity.
time
So
of the year, right?
water clarity.
Are you fishing rocks? Are you fishing wood? So all that matters when it comes to fishing a spinnerbait. One thing I could say 100% for sure is a spinnerbait catches fish.
Oh,
If
absolutely.
you can pick up a spinnerbait, and I don't
It
care
You
which
should
one
have a
you pick
spinnerbait.
up.
It should be a staple in
If
your
you
arsenal.
so
You should have
so
multiple spinnerbaits. at
I
all
had no
times.
faith in a spinnerbait at one time in my life, very, very long time ago. And I was like, I'm just going to commit to a spinnerbait for a while and throw it all day, and got bit and got a lot of confidence in it. Spinnerbaits catch fish. It's catch fishes. There's a lot of variations that you can do. Colorado blades, Indiana blades, double willowies, single Colorado, double Colorado, whatever. But if you can catch fish on a spinnerbait all year.
Absolutely.
All
You
year.
can catch
It's a-
fish on a double willowy spinnerbait all year long. 100%.
Oh, Bradley, take a shot. Chatterbait kept him better though.
So
Definitely situational, and
I will tell you that. So I had a club tournament this weekend. Nothing fancy. We were on the Bush River though, and every fish over 3 pounds that was caught in that tournament was caught on spinnerbait.
So you want my theory? If anyone wants to hear my theory, spinnerbaits, awesome bait. Hank Parker won some classics on it. I mean, spinnerbait dominated for a long time. Spinnerbait, crankbait, like those, the name spinnerbait and crankbaits for a reason. They work, right? So chatterbait comes out. everybody starts throwing a chatterbait. People kind of forget about the spinnerbait a little bit.
Don't get me wrong. I love it.
I know. I'm not saying a
I
chatterbait's
love
not
a
good.
chatterbait. I got a mortgage payment's worth of chatterbaits in my boat.
So what I'm saying is the chatterbait kind of revived the spinnerbait.
Different situations.
Right, different situation. I get all that, but what I'm saying
It's
is
definitely situational.
before the chatterbait, it was all spinnerbait.
It was.
If they were on a bladed
But
bait bite.
that comes with efficiency.
But
and for something like grass fishing, a chatterbait is way more efficient to fish in the grass.
I get it.
That's
Jackhammer.
really that's really what
We
it
all
boils
know
down to, I think.
the jackhammer's fire, thunder cricket. But my point, Paul, is the chatterbait actually got people to stop throwing the spinnerbait as much as they used to, and kind of brought the spinnerbait back a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. There was that
Right.
chatterbait craze for a little while.
It's like the whopper plopper.
Because
buzz
people
bait
realized
thing.
that it was situational, just like you
But
said.
people,
Yeah.
it's about bass fishing is about any kind of fishing is about efficiency.
Right.
So how to give the best presentation repeatedly. If I'm fishing a spinnerbait in eelgrass, for example, eelgrass gets wrapped around. I've got to pull the eelgrass off
Every
here
freaking time.
Over the course of the day, that 10 seconds that it takes me to clear that, that's 20 more casts with a chatterbait.
Right. Yeah. True.
So I don't think that it's that one is catches more or better fish than the other. I think one is more efficient at fishing certain types of cover than others. I will throw a chatterbait on wood because I will do what it takes to catch fish, but a chatterbait is not a good bait.
Oh my God, dude. The amount of snags that you get on the wood
There's ways
with a
to-
chatterbait is just.
I can show you.
my
I can
God.
show you.
Dustin, dude, I
We'll talk
agree
about that
100%.
but I mean,
Right bait, right time. So
For sure. Absolutely, Dustin.
I did
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I agree 100%.
I mean that's coming from an absolute stick too.
Black
I mean,
slime is
I
the
mean,
worst on a spinnerbait. Yes, it is. Oh my God, I hate
Yeah,
every cast
yeah,
having to
black-
clean it off.
I mean, dude, the spinnerbait or the chatterbait at that point, you're pretty much running into issues with it, in my opinion.
Chatterbait does pick up less clutter than the
It's
spinnerbait.
easier to clear.
Yeah.
I'm almost
You
gonna
can
say
just give it a say.
Brian
Yeah.
Dyson's comment: the chatterbait definitely better in the grass than the spinnerbait.
I don't agree. Well, maybe.
Like I said,
Oh.
it's more efficient.
Which type of grass?
If you really want to hear my theory, which is
Okay.
retarded,
Huh?
I fish a chatterbait. Again, everything is situational, and I will 99% of the time I'm throwing, depending on the tide, I'm throwing a chatterbait in grass.
really.
99% of the time. Now it's situational, and it's actually I actually learned this from Dustin.
Jackhammer,
I throw a couple different kinds.
Thunder cricket,
three different kinds. I throw a jackhammer.
original
thunder cricket.
Z-Man.
No, I do not own an original Z-Man.
Really?
I got rid of every single one of them on the jackhammer.
You don't like them?
I throw a custom chatterbait. I have a custom chatterbait that I throw.
JMD one?
It's custom made.
Just curious. Just a question you call. That's all, man. Try to get some juice. That's all.
It's a big mouth horse. Big mouth horse chatterbait.
Oh, got you. Yeah.
I just don't want to talk about. I could go into chatterbait.
Right, go
But
ahead. Go ahead.
I learned a little. I learned something from Dustin one time. We were both fishing the same grass, and I was throwing chatterbait, and I was watching Dustin absolutely wreck him on a grass edge with the spinnerbait. And next time I was out, I was like, let me try that.
Yeah.
So like if I'm fishing edges, if I have a nice hard defined edge, absolutely I'll throw a spinnerbait.
Yeah.
100% of the time. But if the grass, if I'm throwing over top of grass, if it's maybe if it's a high tide, I might throw a spinnerbait where I can just tip the top of it.
That's
But
what
if I'm fishing any kind of grass where my bait is going to get down into even this far down into the grass, I'm throwing a chatterbait. Because it's, again, like I said, I can cast 100 more times a day with a chatterbait. It's 100 more chances of catching a fish, in my opinion. I don't, I see a lot in the chat of people, or in the chat here that people are saying, oh well, like Brian said, swim jig 100% of the time, or a chatterbait all the time. Chatterbait catches the bigger fish. Never limit yourself on the types of baits that you throw. That's the biggest mistake that you can make. I mean, I'm a tackle junkie. I have more tackle than most people, and it's a little ridiculous.
Good point, Brian.
But I'm talking about types of baits. Not like you don't need 537 different kinds of creature baits.
Nope.
It's that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about different techniques.
Paul does, but you don't need them.
I do.
No. So here's the thing.
Trust me, I've tried them all. We can narrow it down to like 3.
Right. So maybe you maybe you have experienced the same thing as I have, Paul, where I tried every freaking bait, every freaking piece of the juice, JDM, whatever, everything. And then I narrowed it down to like what I have confidence in, and like I'm good. I know the baits that I want to throw.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
And then I have a ton of baits.
Game, we all kind of
Confidence.
know what we're going to
Not saying I don't
throw
buy
at this point.
baits still, but I
Confidence,
have my go-tos, and the rest are kind of like if nothing else is working.
confidence is a bigger factor in fishing than brand.
Yeah,
And
I
I'll say
agree.
that for
Agree
I don't care
100%.
what bait category that
Yeah.
you're talking about. If it's crankbaits, jerk baits, doesn't matter. If I have confidence in I fish a shadow rat a lot.
Good bait.
Jerk bait.
The
If I have
Rapala-
confidence in a
Rapala.
shadow rat,
Yeah.
but I don't have confidence in a mega bass,
You're gonna throw the Rapala.
I'm gonna catch more fish on the Rapala.
Yeah.
Simply because I have the confidence to fish it correctly.
It's tied on.
Not only that, but you're gonna throw it more. So the thing is, take any bait, and I'm doing this to make Chad mad on purpose. But take a Guggen freaking Bandito bug. Is that the name of the bait? I don't even know what it's called.
That's like
So-
that's like the only decent bait that Buchan has.
But okay, so take the Bandito bug, right, and you throw it, and you catch one on it. You don't know a whole lot. You heard of Guggen, you went to Dick's, so there you bought it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you catch one on it. So guess what you're going to do next time you go fishing?
You're gonna throw that bandito
That's where that
And
Buchan-
every single time you go, and you're going to catch more fish on it, get more confidence on it.
because you learn how to fish it.
Right. Exactly.
Same thing with, and it's not when I say the styles of it, like I said, confidence is more important than brand.
Mhm.
I throw a $7 spinnerbait, maybe 8. I think they're $7.99.
And
You
catch
know,
them
Chad
as good as a mega bass.
Throws a $17 spinnerbait,
Yes.
Yeah, about well, yeah, maybe.
They're
and
like 15,
it's
17.
to me, it's not that one is better than the other as far as catching fish. But
Confidence.
Chad's not going to throw this bait because Chad has the confidence in this bait.
He's caught a bunch of fish
He's
on
caught
that
a bunch
bait.
of fish on this bait,
Right.
and that's the bait he's going to throw, and that's
I'm
important
starting to gain confidence in these baits though.
because well, here's the thing.
I'm going to steal some, try them out.
Going back to what I was saying, when first with, for example, a Vision 110 and a Shadow Rat. If I haven't had a lot of success with a Vision 110 and I pick it up, in my mind, I'm already losing the battle because I'm not fishing it right. I'm thinking all that, I don't catch fish on this. So, maybe I'm fishing it too fast, or I don't fish it long enough. I don't pause it long enough because in my head I have that negative attitude in my head about that bait
You ain't caught nothing on
because I haven't caught anything on it, right?
Yeah.
So in that situation, well, why wouldn't I tie on the jerk bait that I have confidence in?
Right. Exactly. I call him on the Shadow Rat. I'm calling Shadow Rat.
I love the Shadow Rat. That's one of my.
So
I caught a lot of.
I
fish on
can't not remember with this head. So the one is the safety pin, right? That has the circle. Anyways, doesn't even matter. My question is, what kind of knot? You have a spinnerbait like this, not the one that has the. I don't know if you have any around here. Anyways, the safety pin.
No, I don't have any like that.
What kind of knot do you use? Because I use a Palomar.
I use a
and
double line uni knot.
The Palomar is a mistake for me because it slides. I get this.
All knots will slide.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
So what?
Doesn't
so
matter what knot you use.
Really,
No,
you're
it
not
doesn't.
slides too? That pisses me off.
Mine doesn't slide as much as mine will turn. So it'll
And
it'll
you'll start
turn,
swimming.
like the tag end will get like caught in there.
Yeah.
I kind of all. It still runs right, but like it annoys me.
So
Yeah.
you use the
So
double
I-
uni knot. What about you?
Double
Okay.
line uni knot, different than a double uni knot.
Really, what's the difference?
So double line uni knot is tied with 2 pieces of line. It's not like double uni knot. You're connecting 2 pieces of line.
Right.
The double line uni knot, you're basically taking a loop, putting it through the other line.
So you're gonna demonstrate. You ain't got no line.
I'm
You
sure
demonstrate.
there's some laying over there.
Can we
somewhere.
tie it with like a microphone cord or something? Because we got
Hey,
plenty
man,
of-
Let's do that. Let's
So,
get
a
together.
double
Let's shoot
line
double
uni
knot videos.
Yeah,
Chad, would not
I
be
don't-
would not
Dude, for the basic fluorocarbon, dude, I throw the freaking knot that everybody.
The Palomar?
throws. No, not the Palomar. The what was it?
Trialing knot?
Improved.
Oh,
Clinch?
the
Yeah.
blue.
I literally,
That's why you go like
the
through
knot,
in
the
back
knot
through.
that everybody knows, twist it 8 times, stick it through the bottom loop, stick it through the top loop, pull it tight, snip your thing. I personally, with the style, with
I'm
the,
sorry, dude.
did you finally read
just
it?
see that?
I was looking at it too, like I thought it was funny. I personally have not had issues with that knot at all.
Yeah, it's
I've
a good
had
knot.
more issues with my double uni knots, like connecting my leaders, and I've had more issues with some of my Palomar knots. But a lot of my Palomar knots, I'm throwing my big ass swim baits on. So like that, you're getting into a whole other topic.
So,
Brian
For-
said, for not to cut you off, Paul, sorry, but Brian said that if he's fishing the edge of the grass, sprinter bait,
absolutely, Brian.
and if he's in thicker grass, chatterbait.
Right there with you. We're on the same wavelength.
So
That's one weak point in my arsenal.
Brian made
I
another
will
good
say
point.
Is always have one tied on.
Brian said he
I
has
have a
both
spinnerbait,
and
chatterbait
chatter.
rod. So like I either have a spinnerbait on or I have a chatterbait on. I actually don't have 2 specific combos for the spinnerbait and the chatterbait.
What do you think about that, Paul?
I've got 3 chatterbait rods.
Martin Payne said it's pretty cool. I heard Tony Schultz is at ICAST working in the cooking booth.
But again, that
Where
goes
you at, Tony? Where's Tony?
you got to look at the difference in our boats.
At dinner with a bunch of men.
I thought he was working in the Guggen
No,
ICAST.
seriously, he went to dinner with a bunch of guys he works with.
I'm glad you tied that knot too, Martin. It's the best knot I've ever tied as far as connecting. I use it for literally everything now.
Yeah.
Who we still got online? If you still online, say what's up.
What's the FG?
FG leader, that's a leader knot, leader to or mainline the leader knot.
That's another knot. That I
Fantastic
will,
knot.
that's another
Takes a
knot
long
that I
time to
will
tie.
admittedly say that I have.
The
just no
FG
clue how to
knot
tie.
is supposed to be like one of the best knots ever.
Takes
I
a
hear a lot of people
takes a long time to tie, but it's worth it. Martin will actually tell you why
He
you
said
should tie the
double
FG
uni
knot
is
and not
trash.
a double uni knot. I believe he lost I believe Martin lost a rather big fish at Lake Anna this year because he
You read it?
tied a double uni knot.
You read
I was
Martin's-
there.
Martin's
I was
got something for you. You said,
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Learn it and it's easy. Lake Anna record, Martin said. What's
I'm
the
sure.
record, dude?
The record Lake Anna is like 13 pounds.
You know what was his though? Like,
I don't know. I just heard, he just told me one day that when we were talking about
what's
double
that?
uni knots that he lost a big fish because his leader knot broke.
Yeah, it happens, dude. It happens.
But
Lake Anna's how? So what's the deal with Lake Anna?
what do you want to know about it?
Anyway,
Hot side or cold side?
It fishes
There's
like
two sides.
it doesn't.
Right.
It doesn't fish like anything around here.
It's a lake.
It's
I'm a river guy.
It's a highland reservoir. It is not.
You
Yeah,
have to,
it's definitely more Highland reservoir.
You
It's
have
a
to-
highland reservoir. It's not tidal at all. It's the fish is totally different than anything.
You gotta talk me into going to a lake, dude. I'm a river guy. I fish river. I grew up on a river. I'm a river kid. I'm dirty river kids. Oh,
Go to a small lake.
And well, yeah, Martin says it was the record for that weekend. Yeah, probably was the record for that weekend. However, I do remember Clint went out for Clint Clayton.
Yeah.
Clint Clayton went out for the first freaking 5 minutes. We got there, we launched. Me and Tony ran out to this one channel. Martin, Dustin go a bunch of their different ways. And we get to the first place, stand up, take one cast, get a text message. 5-pounder. I'm like,
Where'd you
what
go?
the
Do you remember you guys? So you guys launched that.
What's up, Big D? Big
Thanks.
Darwin's in the house.
Hey, thanks for the tip, Kevin. Appreciate it, man.
So Kevin makes a good point. Kevin's fished Lake Anna a lot more than I have.
He said you can fish it like a river.
It's the farther up you go, the more it gets like a river. And a lot of
I can do it. That's my style.
A lot of Highland reservoirs are like that. And in that river area, again, coming back to the spinnerbaits play a very big role in those when you get into those river situations.
Yeah, I'm a river guy. I'm spinnerbait, flip.
That's why they're so good around here. I mean, spinnerbaits.
Riverboat Rob. What makes me think that you're a river guy?
Take me to a lake, dude. I can't do it, man. Like I don't know. I don't get it. Like, I can't
take him to a lake and he can't catch fish.
Well,
Well,
no.
me either because I didn't catch shit.
I've been having trouble on the river lately. But either way, Paul did start putting me on some electronics, and like I have a Helix 9 with mega imaging and inside imaging and everything, but I never honestly took the time to try to learn it. Paul took me out and he showed me some things, and now I'm like, God damn it, I gotta buy a 360 now.
I've used
Well, I was
it.
even I showed Rob some stuff on side scan too that
Yeah.
kind of blew his mind.
I use it to
Random stuff that was up in the river.
Yeah, so you like open my whole world up.
I
I'm
use it
like,
to identify structure, but the main thing I use it to identify is ledges and drop-offs.
right, see, I don't never fish a ledge or a drop off.
I fish ledges and drop offs, and I use it to identify that. But I would say that I use it to identify more specific pieces of structure than
Rock
anything
pile.
else.
We were in shallow water. How deep was it? Maybe like 4 foot deep or something.
When I was showing you the 360,
Yeah,
we were 3 foot.
3 foot deep. But Paul was able to pinpoint and dial in
Where
to
that
what-
pebble was to the right.
No,
Nah,
Oh,
a little different. I won't give up the juice, but he was able to pinpoint like structure that I did not
Oh.
see, and he was able to get dialed in
I'll throw it out there.
on them and knew like, hey,
So
and told me he was like,
We were
this is
fishing-
where they're at, and he knew it. He
so
was
we
dialed
were
in.
we were fishing a grass line,
Yeah.
and the grass line we're fishing there's three to 5 foot of water depending on how far you get off the grass line, and so it's a very hard grass line. And we're going up the grass line, and because I'm using Humminbird Mega 360, I was able to see grass clumps that were way out off of the edge, out isolated grass clumps that were out by themselves. And because of Mega 360, I can make a pinpoint cast directly to that grass clump. Grass clump might only be this big, but I know exactly where it's at. I know it's 40 feet, 40 feet in front of the boat or 40
Yeah,
feet at 11 o'clock. And I can make casts into those isolated grass patches, and that's what the fish were holding in. They weren't holding on the edge. They were in these isolated patches that were off.
But
That's
I
how
can testify.
I figured it out. And, we went up, we made one pass on this grass edge, and I think I caught 6 or 7
Yeah,
off of it.
yeah, he was smacking the shit out of him. I'm like, save me one, motherfucker. Fuck, dude. Kevin, I'm in, dude. Let me know. We'll work it out. You gonna be there? You gonna be at the Thursday night or this weekend? We'll talk about it then.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely 100%
Chicken
down,
hominy.
dude. Hell yeah,
Chicken
I'm
homony's
down.
got some giants in it.
I had learned that day, and I think I said it on the show before. Don't fish behind Paul. He doesn't leave too much for you to catch. Then he's like, "Hey Rob, get up on a trolling motor," and he's teaching me the 360. I have a Humminbird, so I never cut my depth finder on. I'm terrible. And I'm like, look, I'm like just staring at the screen. And he's like, no, they're like right there. And he's like, cast there, catch one. He's like, right there, you want to cast. And I'm like, I will see it, Paul. And he's like, bam, just dialed in and made me go, oh, I need a 360.
360 is, I will say, if we're not that we're supposed to be talking about spinnerbaits here, but
Well,
my Mega 360 is the most important piece of electronics.
yeah, I gotta get one. But I did hook my biggest fish of the day, and it might have been one of the biggest fish of the day on a
spinnerbait.
spinnerbait.
Mhm.
Yep.
Running it over top of the grass.
So-
if I'm fishing grass with a spinnerbait, I try to keep it right on the edge, top of the grass.
I would
Almost like a top water.
It's not that great of a bait for ripping through the grass, but definitely running on those grass edges, running along the hard edges. It's a much better hard structure bait. Obviously, like with every bait, a lot of different color options, but I think the most important part of the spinnerbait, in my opinion, and this is something that people don't think about a lot, is your blades and your wire. And a
absolutely.
wire comes is a massive part of a
Huge
spinnerbait that a lot of people overlook. Now you can look at your blades, and the blades can be fine and everything, but if you're running on a wire that's too thick, it's not transferring the energy. A wire that's too light, it's breaking every cast, or it's too much. There's definitely a massive happy medium with a good wire. in my opinion. And that goes into some serious.
So not that this is a Straight King
You
KBD
don't need
finesse
this,
spinnerbait. It's a good spinnerbait. I've caught a ton of fish on them over the years, but I've kind of gotten away from them. And I'm gonna hand this over to Chad and just let him feel. So if you squeeze your spinnerbait like this, like you can feel the stiffness of the wire. So this is the spinnerbait that the hook is sharp. So with this, I can barely push down on that, and you'll flex that. So just feel the difference between the stiffness of these blades. So this is the big mouth lures that I normally fish,
Big mouth lures.
and very
Spongy.
Very spongy, right?
Spongy.
So feel that straight king. You'll feel it's totally different. Feel how stiff
Oh,
it is.
yeah.
So the stiffness.
No, I could probably get like muscles on my fingers. If I squeeze this enough.
So the stiffness and the thickness of that wire allows you to get much more vibration out of your blades, and the key to a spinnerbait is vibration. That's what we're looking for. So the more vibration that you can get. Now it's a trade-off because a light wire, supple, a light supple wire like this is not going to be as durable as a thicker, harder wire like this. Now that being said, I've never broken one of these, and I fish them a ton.
This wire
I've
actually
retired
feels
a couple.
much stiffer than that.
Was it?
That wire feels much stiffer.
I've never actually felt them. So I can tell you why. It's the length of the arm.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it's definitely stiffer. It's also thicker wire too.
Yeah, it is.
What is Martin's flipping
spin?
What's flipping spins?
I don't even know what
I
that
don't.
one
I
is.
don't even. I go way back. I'm not sure what those are, Martin. I'm curious though. Flipping spins.
Yeah, that's something we don't get a lot of. Rob said back in his resi days, he used to yo-yo a 1-ounce spinnerbait in 30 feet of water.
I still do.
And well,
not in that
that's
deep
just
water, but I do.
That's something that we don't get to do. A lot of around here is fishing heavy spinnerbaits.
I have yo-yoed spinnerbaits in the pond before. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I will yo-yo it. Don't get me wrong, I'll yo-yo a spinnerbait, but we don't really get a chance to throw those 3/4 and.
Rob, you butchered this trailer. I'm sorry.
Leave my shit alone, dude.
3/4, those 3/4 and 1 ounce spinnerbaits. They do have their place, and I do own them. And sometimes it's just so. I actually have to. I got to call my guy. I want to see if I'm going to be on the shore again and see if I can pick up some spinnerbaits to take to New York. But sometimes it's just a matter of it's not depth. It's casting distance.
You're not allowed to carry deadly force in the New York.
What?
So you're not allowed to carry deadly force in New York, brother.
So
the SV has a keeper on it. You know that, right?
Oh yeah, I'm okay.
So like I'm saying, the weight of the spinnerbait is not necessarily how deep you want it to go. It's just that you can cast farther with it.
If I'm not straight, I'll just pull it.
So,
a little bit like that.
When we're going, I'm going to Thousand Islands in 2.5 weeks, and up there, we're throwing a 3/4 ounce spinnerbait just because we can cast it farther because the water's so clear that you can cast an extra 15 feet with a 3/4 versus that being said, you're still fishing this far below the water because you're burning it as fast as you can.
Right.
Yeah. So you have to look at there's so many aspects of spinnerbaits that
Take one of these with you.
So Adam
Adam
said they in this bitch. So they in this bitch. And Martin, Denny Brower. Denny Brower is probably my favorite fisherman of all time.
What's the
Denny Brower? Well, he did a technique that I do. He won a classic on the technique that I do.
Everybody knows what Denny Brower does.
Right, but different.
I bet you Rob Steiner can tell you what Denny Brower.
Rob, don't say that. And
what was what's that small straight king spinnerbait? It's like a little single Colorado. It's only about this big. You know what I'm talking about?
This is a small strike king spinnerbait.
I can't remember the name of it.
So Busy Bug or some shit like.
So Denny Brower.
I can't remember either, but this is a very tiny little strike king spinnerbait right yonder, and it definitely gets bit.
I don't get the Wheaties box with Denny Brower on it.
Yeah.
I don't even worry about the spinnerbait. I'm thinking about Denny Brower now, my idol.
Sometimes, and that's another factor when it comes to fishing spinnerbaits. If you want to, first of all,
Hank Parker.
I'm going to just say, if you don't have confidence in a spinnerbait, you're never going to have confidence in a bait if you don't fish it. Take everything out of your boat. Just decide, I'm going to throw a spinnerbait today.
You can catch fish on a spinnerbait year round.
Year round. It doesn't matter what time of year it is. Mm-hmm. But you have to figure out how to catch them on a spinnerbait.
What works for you?
Let me, if you don't mind, I'll talk about my tournament a little bit that I fished this weekend.
I want to hear all about it.
So,
yeah, let's hear about it.
I pre-fished for the tournament, figured out the pattern in the tournament, but you don't need.
You read that?
Adam, commit to the swim bait.
Commit to the swim bait.
That's another show.
It's a whole nother show.
I was fishing, and I sent a picture to Chad during the tournament of how shallow I was fishing. So I was fishing so shallow that I had to take my Costa case and jam it under my trolling motor bracket so that it would hold my trolling motor up high enough for my trolling motor to not be in the mud. I was fishing probably 10 inches of water all day, but I was fishing spinnerbait.
Right.
And anytime you have current, a spinnerbait is going to play. Spinnerbait and wind. Or I'm sorry, current and wind. Anytime you have current and wind, current and or wind, the spinnerbait's going to play. I was targeting wood on shallow flats and on a low tide. I wasn't in the gunpowder drop. It doesn't matter.
Nothing, dude.
I was in the Bush River. If you run to the places that I went, you will probably lose your lower unit. So if anybody wants to do that, except for Adam, because I know he's got the jet boat. So
Adam's going anywhere and everywhere.
you got a jet boat, you'll be fine. If you go, you're probably going to rip off your lower unit.
Brian
But
makes
anyway.
a good point. Cloudy water as well for the spinnerbait. Wind, current,
Wind,
cloudy.
current, cloudy. Cloudy. I throw a jig in 31.
Yes, Dan, Gerald Swindle is the shit, but Denny Brower is more the shit. Denny Brower was the shit when Gerald Swindle was.
Danny Brower was
Bill Dance.
Bill Dance is just the legend. Like, I mean,
Danny Brower was never really my favorite
Really?
old timer. No, I was more of a
Zell Rowland.
I was more of a Roland Martin guy.
Really?
Yeah.
So is there stories about Roland Martin? We'll talk about some.
Roland Martin
There's stories.
is the reason that we have most of the rules in bass fishing that we have today.
Yeah, I know the jet
Because
boat. He
he-
took the jet boat upriver.
He would
Break all the rules.
not break the rules,
Make
but
the rules because
he would skirt that gray area where
Right.
he's not breaking the rules, but that's the reason that pros have to fish out the same boat all year. They can't change their boat in the middle of the year.
Adam said to stick your life jacket on and trouble motor. Dude.
Oh, that was good. That's a good idea too. But
Yeah,
I
that's
use
a good idea.
I use inflatable life jackets, and they're way too expensive.
Who do you-
Yeah. Like a Mustang survival freaking.
Hey, Paul's like, we always wear a life jacket in my boat because I almost killed somebody. That's all.
That
is.
That's a true.
You'll have to tell the story now.
That's a,
We'll save that for
that's
another
a
show.
Friday night story.
That's a Friday.
Yeah, that's a Friday night.
It actually-
after hours story.
It actually involves one of your sponsors.
Nice.
It's a good story, but we'll save that one for
One of the Bass and Beer sponsors.
Sponsored by UMA Lure Company. Sponsored by.
That might be the person that it involved.
One of these on. Learn the rules and how to work around them. That's like life lesson.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. That's why I liked Roland Martin, and that's why I still like Roland Martin, because he always pushed the boundaries of fishing. It wasn't just it wasn't just that he was trying. It wasn't that he was trying to cheat. He was pushing the boundaries of fishing and how to catch fish, and we learned so much from him from doing that.
I'm not saying I don't like Roland Martin, but
Oh, I'm just saying that's why he was my favorite.
Mhm.
Denny Brower was a fucking man. Okay, right about this. Denny Brower back in the day was
Not that
the
he
man.
was a man.
He
Yeah,
was the
he
man. Well,
He was
you
just
know,
never my favorite. That's all.
yeah, I get it. No, or I mean, Roland
I know
Martin.
KVD. Yeah,
People sleep on Hank Parker, but Hank Parker, he's a spinnerbait.
KVD's my man.
That's
Okay.
another spinnerbait.
KVD could throw.
KVD and Hank
Spinnerbait.
Parker both were spinnerbait guys.
KVD could wreck some fish on a spinnerbait back in
And
the
cranks
90s.
and spinnerbaits was KV and jerkbaits. He was
Be like double fisting it. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Well, KVD did some damage with the spinnerbait back in the 90s.
Say Roland Martin ain't got shit.
Roland Martin.
Shit.
Oh, my boy Roland.
That's funny.
Ike never give up video. Yeah, well, Ike is a whole nother story. He's
I'll tell
an
you,
interesting guy. But,
Dustin geeks me out sometimes. Every time I see Dustin, I'm telling you, he always gives me one of those episodes where I just freaking laugh.
Every time I see Dustin at the boat ramp, he says something that just makes me just double it
I
over.
don't
Exactly.
know, Dustin.
I don't know.
Jimmy
But
Houston.
he's just slick like that. I don't know.
Jimmy Houston.
Jimmy Houston's he's enough.
Man,
That's
that
it.
hair, his hair. Did you ever see the videos from back in the day when Jimmy Houston was like in Bassmasters when they were first starting launching his boat with his car? Yeah, like Cadillac and bell bottoms and shit on.
So,
And
like Tony's uncle.
If you
Right, yeah, he's like Tony's uncle, dude.
if you watch Everybody now, we always have, like, everybody's got, things you need to have, like this big fancy truck. And you gotta have, you gotta have,
I hate all that.
a 3,500 GMC Denali to pull your
Tony's
bass boat.
uncle proves that you don't need that. You
That's
need
right.
You need a
Watch-
Ford Escort.
Watch- so
Or-
just
or
go
Ford
watch-
Taurus.
Just go watch some Bassmaster TV shows from the early 90s,
Hold up.
and
Okay.
you'll see that most of those guys are pulling their boats with Chevy Astro vans.
Right.
Not
Yeah, I
sure.
told you.
yeah.
Yeah. You
Chevy
gotta look
Astro
up on YouTube. Just look up Len Dollar. He has all those. Here, you can. Let me know.
Rick Lund.
Go ahead.
I've watched many videos of Rick Lund pulling his boat with the Chevy Astro van.
What did I get in there?
Oh, I see.
Well, I mean, that's not allowed in my boat. That's not allowed in my boat.
It's a big Cinco, right?
Big ones, right?
Yeah.
That's not. Oh, it's not allowed in my boat.
You can't. What?
It's just I can't have that.
What can't you have on your boat?
Berkeley.
What?
You can't have Berkeley.
We like Berkeley here.
All right, hold on, let me see this. All right, so I guess we're going into this now. We're gonna cut into it.
man. Mostly soft plastic.
We're gonna cut into this.
Well, I
go
couldn't
into
wait that
Rob's unboxing. So let's let Rob unbox what he got from Tackle. Rob says he doesn't even remember.
Not
what
quite.
the
I
kid
kind
got from
of
Taco
do.
Warehouse.
You like that or you don't? Because
That
6
is
cents
a
has
nice-
freaking
nice
6
job,
cents.
dude.
So I have a 6 cents movement weight bait.
Could be.
Look at that color.
I've caught a lot of.
Two
caught a lot
of
of
them,
fish.
That is
actually.
an absolutely.
And I think the rest of you get
Look
power
at
bait.
the
aren't they?
flicker in that, man. I mean, that
There's
is
not
an
a whole lot
absolute
in here.
beautiful.
I will say 6 cents probably next to Mega Bass probably has the best paint job.
Oh, so
I'm gonna talk shit. I'm gonna talk
I
a
got
little bit of shit about Mega Bass.
some
for a
Berkeley
second.
power baits that
Because their paint job's gonna hold up.
Chad hates,
Yeah.
but just Cincos. Got a couple Cincos in here, and have some.
Those are generals, sir.
Yeah, the general.
Those are not Senkos.
Well,
Those are
come
general.
on now.
And they're not even. And they're not Maxine.
Yeah, I
Why
ordered
Max
the Max in. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
remember. And I got
Oh, some wacky hooks.
Well,
To
you're not
go
gonna
with-
you're not gonna
Go
catch
with the-
you're not
go
gonna
with the
catch
Cinco,
any
okay.
fish now because they're not mixed.
that's not true.
That's not true. Those
Yeah.
are.
And then I got some. So apparently I was like gearing up on my wacky rig.
What else were you hiding?
Oh, just some. Yeah, it's nothing special.
Nothing special.
Just some Zoom
Oh,
toads.
horny toad.
Yeah, horny toads is all. So I got some horny toads, some power baits, some wacky rig hooks.
Well, you
this
got,
is what.
you got horny toads in there.
Yeah, I got some horny toads in there.
Horny toads, bro.
And
Oh, we got the zoomers.
these are kind
bro.
of. Maybe I'll break one of these open.
Yeah, break
These
one.
colors are looking pretty sick on these.
I actually like the other
So
one.
I've been working on my weight.
Black frogs.
Oh, here you go.
They do.
Check
Look at
out.
that. That's
Check-
juice right there. That's a whole box full of fire that Rob had come in here.
Yeah, that is kind of.
And I'm telling you,
Kinda
I'm telling you
juicy.
right now. I'm telling you right now.
I kind of like.
90.
This color is.
Yeah,
I think this is
Yeah.
shad sense, if I remember what. And I think that's the color.
it's probably on the box. So
90% of the people that are watching
Shad
this
scale,
show right
software.
now.
It's shad scale.
Shad scales.
It is a sick color.
But that is a money.
And this one is
Crankbait. That's a weight
this
bait.
one is
Still crankbait. Weight baits are crankbaits.
it's a weight bait.
That style weight bait is crankbait.
Right. You can't go subsurface.
When you get
with
into
it,
like
you can
rats
keep it
and
on
stuff
top.
like that, then you get into a different style.
But you can keep that on top
Y'all,
around grass.
a lot of people. This is some
You get all
serious
my
juice.
baits back.
I mean, I
You
can't-
can't trust them
I can't
That'll actually
speak.
run.
I can't speak
You'll run about that far below the
specifically.
surface.
if crank it fast enough. Yeah.
I can't speak specifically for this lure in itself. I can speak for other brands, which I mean, like honestly, obviously, you guys know that I
Yeah,
Mega
Martin's
Bass.
right.
I am not going to talk about exactly which lure it is because it's one of my coveted secrets. But if you guys find any of these top water weight baits and you have openings in between grasses or structure or anything like that, this is an absolute fire bait. These baits sit right up on the surface. They move just like a crankbait, but you see, and they just come right on the surface
Like a
and you
crawler.
just see it breaking
Like a crawler.
water.
You want to
They have they have the rattles in them.
know what else you can
It's
weight?
got a let me see. It's got a one knocker, right?
A big single Colorado spinnerbait.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are on spinner bait.
So just to relay the conversation back to spinnerbaits. Another good tactic for fishing, even in cleaner water, a big Colorado blade spinnerbait. If you reel it, hold your rod tip up a little bit, reel it kind of fast, and it'll wake right underneath the surface. And it is money over top of grass when you roll a big Colorado blade spinnerbait over top of grass. Certain times of the year, they will annihilate that.
Yeah.
It's freaking awesome.
That has a lot to do with blade
Top loader
profile.
spinnerbaits.
A lot of them, unless you don't have the right body size or the body structure or the correct blade type, for that matter, you're not running that thing right on the surface. I think that Colorado blade helps you displace enough water.
So Colorado blade does. I can do it with Indiana blade. I can do it with double willow. A lot of it's rod position.
Crank it in real fast.
Rod position. Retrieve. Rod position. Yeah. Rod position. Your speed.
Martin, I did thought I ordered the Maxent, I want to say, but either way, the General's still a beast.
The purple Urkel. I don't think I've ever caught one on the purple. Martin.
Well, the purple was the Maxent, right? The bag's purple. Is what he's saying, I think.
Maybe.
Yeah.
They
Louise says.
They have a purple Maxent worm.
So I said I don't.
See, a lot.
I don't remember what I ordered.
Brownster likes the cotton Cordell.
The Big O. Well,
he loves the cotton Cordell.
The Big O
is a crankbait.
Yeah,
I know, and I think
the Big O is.
I think he might have figured.
It's called the Big O.
Smallmouth on that Big O.
It's called the Big O because of the guy's name. The guy's name. Real quick though, Luis said I don't remember what I ordered because of tequila. You're probably right, my friend. And
clicking on the wrong.
Who knows? I don't know. Is that the Maxent? It was something else too. Or the speed or the reel, correct too.
Yeah, Big O's just a square bill crankbait.
Yeah, Big O is because the guy's
but
name though.
Depending on what size Adam's throwing there. A lot of people throw the bigger Big O, so it's just a bigger profile.
Right.
It's a little bit bigger than like a 2.5, but not as big as like those 4.0s and that like Strike King makes it like the 4.0 and the 8.0, which are huge, giant square bills. But the Big O's just got a little bit bigger profile, and they work. I mean, I don't personally throw them anymore, but I've thrown them in the past.
I gotta do my history again.
Adam, the best A-rig brand, in my opinion.
Oh, that's
I have two. I'll give you two.
The Flash Mob.
Not the best. Hog Farmer is probably the best, but I actually really like the Picassos. I've been fishing the Picassos for a couple years now, and I really like the quality, and I like how they run.
You don't like the Flash Mob?
I won't say I've never fished it, but I'm saying that it's not the best quality. It's not the best.
They have different. Their wires are probably maybe a little.
I don't fish it a lot, but I fish the Flash Mob. So I learned the trick. When you store your A-rigs, do you take a split ring? Do you know this trick? You know about?
No, I have an A-rig box, so I don't.
Oh, so you can take your A-rig, right? And you could get a split ring around it where you could slide the split ring
down.
Yeah, and hold it together.
I use a rubber ring.
You could slide it down to close it, or you can slide it
I have
up.
a plain A-rig box.
I have to bring. I'll bring my
I'll
bring my A-rig box, but I mainly have Kitex in there and Flash Mobs.
So I switched from the Flash Mob to the Picasso because the Flash Mobs they don't hold up as well.
Yeah, I don't really fish them like that, to be honest.
I fish an A-rig a lot.
Yeah,
I do. I fish an A-rig a lot on Potomac.
Listen up, Adam.
I fish an A-rig a lot on Conowingo.
Gramster loves the A-rig. He loves
But Hog Farmer and Picasso are probably the two best. I fish Picasso personally. The Picasso was Picasso.
That's the
brand. Yeah, I can't remember.
Heard of Picasso?
No.
Picasso makes them. There it is.
That's Picasso.
Is it JMD or is it?
No.
No.
Aaron Martins was sponsored by Picasso. He did a lot of their stuff.
Picasso has great paint too.
They
have good paint jobs as well.
Yeah, I think so.
They make great bait. There's a Picasso spinner bait.
Yeah, looks fine.
That's one of my Conowingo killers there.
Conowingo killer. Don't tell Tony Schultz he's out with his boyfriend or whatever. Well, look, we can't talk bad about Tony. Martin took all our money last week.
Yeah.
Martin says Shane's Baits, A-Rig. I've heard good things about them. I've never got the opportunity to fish them. But Flash Mob Jr., Flash Bomb.
That's what I use.
Flash Mob Junior is nice because it's cheap.
Yeah.
You know, you can get a Flash Mob Junior for like $12.
Doesn't Zoom make one?
Not that I know of.
Zoom makes a rig.
I'm trying to think of what the A rig is
So,
that I own.
you know what?
I can't
What we
remember.
are-
Have you
Huh?
seen
Probably Booyah. That's what everybody.
Booyah. That's probably a Booyah.
That's the Flash Mob.
y'all?
The Flash Mob has the spinners on it. They're regular A-rig.
Forgive me for my ignorance, but I don't remember.
That shows how much I throw one.
I don't remember who all makes them. Now there's,
Pond in the fall.
since it is right, yeah. So there is a spinner bait. There's
Never.
spinner baits now that are like A rigs. I'm sure you've seen them.
There are. I
Yeah,
think
like umbrella.
They're gimmicky and
You don't think they work?
yeah. I don't.
They have
I
like
won't say
4
that-
wires.
I won't say
I'm
that
not-
they don't work.
Right.
They're not as efficient as an A-rig,
Right.
and I don't
don't-
think they work the same. In
Don't try to fix what's not broke.
Well, what they're trying to do, they're trying to skirt around state laws
There's
Okay,
hooks. There's
right.
how many
because
hooks you can
some
have
states
about,
some
yeah.
states will limit the amount of hooks. Tennessee actually they call it baits. So if you have a certain amount of arms on a bait,
Yeah, that's the softest freaking wire I've
there's-
ever
there-
yet.
that's
That is
the-
freaking.
that's a
dude. That
Picasso
is
invisible
that is
wire.
dumb soft, man. That's the lightest. The Picasso bait is the lightest wire I've felt yet. I'm not gonna lie. And I thought the bait.
It's okay, Martin. I probably lost between the Potomac and the Susquehanna / Conowingo. I've probably lost about 10 Picassos, so you can go hunt those down too.
Greg says, "What's up?" Martin says, "Shane's baits a rig." Martin also, he's just fucking with Paul. And Brian says Picasso makes a good chatterbait as well.
They do.
Yeah.
Shockingly.
Lou's in the
Spinner baits
house.
and chatterbaits.
I don't know if people know Lou.
Oh, there's Big Lou.
Big
yeah,
Lou.
he's got a
Come on, man.
YouTube channel. Man, I might collab on a couple things.
Does Lou have a YouTube channel?
I believe it's Lou, if I'm correct. I could be wrong. Though. I don't
So
I can't remember people.
Back on the
names.
topic-
Could be a different Lou.
I'm gonna get back on the topic of spinnerbaits for a minute, and I want to talk about blade color because blade colors is ridiculously important. And I know me and Rob talked a little bit about this on the phone the other day, and Rob says he throws a certain blade color. He likes. You mind if I say?
No,
He likes silver blades. He likes 2 silver blades, and
because of the flash.
I will very rarely, unless I'm fishing super clear water, you'll notice that most of my spinnerbaits, I don't know if you can see this, gold and silver in some combination. So not that one. That one's very situational. So gold and silver, these are hammered blades. That's muddy water, so you'll see 2 golds. But I try to
2 Colorados.
Right. I try to, outside of most situations, I try to throw gold and silver because you're going to get more flash if you have 2 different colors. That's what you have, what you're looking for. Because if you got a gold flash and a silver flash as it's coming through the water, it's throwing off 2 different colors,
Right.
and it's giving you more flash. Where the silver just kind of blends into each other. So your front blade being silver blends into your. Actually,
Different color contrasts.
Do you like orange kickers?
So that's the other thing that I want to talk about. So blade color, gold and silver, silver and silver. Do they both work? I think the gold and silver do throw off a little more flash. If you're looking for that, I think the silver on silver, which you'll see that I do own those. If you're on a really, really specific shad bite in very clear water, I think silver on silver works great.
I agree.
Kicker blades. So kicker blades are another thing that are that a lot of people overlook, and kicker blades and painted blades in general. So orange kicker blade is see if I can make that shine a little bit there. So I throw an orange kicker blade in the spring a lot because think about the water in the spring. The water is usually a little dirtier in the spring. We got a lot more rain. And that orange kicker blade in the spring is really well. This is a Colorado kicker blade, gold Indiana blade. That's one of my favorite springtime crankbaits right there. Or spinnerbaits, not crankbaits. I was looking at that. That crankbait there. Another, for some reason, and I can't explain why, the red after like toward the end of May, Red Sox. Like it just they just stopped.
It is
Springtime color.
110% a springtime
You
color.
think because crawfish are that color at that time of year?
So I don't think so because I've had fish throw crayfish in my live well that time of year and they're not.
I saw some crayfish on Saturday. I went way upriver and they were blue right now.
Well, a lot of that is different species of crayfish.
Right.
So we can talk about crayfish
and habitat.
We can spend an hour talking about that.
All that.
But the species of crayfish is what determines the color more than anything.
Right. Yeah.
But so Gerald Swindle has a theory on this, and I might tend to agree with him a little bit. So most bass go deep in the wintertime. Deeper.
Right.
They're in deeper, lower visibility water.
Right.
When it starts to warm up in the spring, they move up. And when they first start moving up, his theory is their eyesight is not as good because they've been in lower light conditions. So they get up into the shallower water where there's more light penetration and their eyes haven't adjusted to it yet. So the brighter color is not as intrusive to them and they can see it better.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then as the pre-spawn progresses, that red light starts to die because they're getting more used to being in that shallower water with more light penetration. There's no scientific backing to this, but he's a pretty good fisherman. And yeah, he spent a lot of time on the water, and I wouldn't necessarily disagree with him on that. I honestly don't have a good answer for it. I mean, that's the best answer that I can give you for why the red bite stops. But I'll stop throwing a red kicker blade for the most part in mid-May. When the water warms up.
I thought it was a crawfish thing. Honestly.
The other.
Oh, by the way, Lou, I was correct for once in my life. I did remember somebody. He does have a YouTube channel, and he did start one. And me and him made collab. You don't have to get people's names and stuff. If I see you, like, hey, what's up, Craig? But if I don't, he did start one, and me and him made collab.
So the other.
You don't have to get people's.
The other color kicker blade that I throw pretty frequently is a chartreuse, and I'll throw that in dirty water, not muddy water, but when you have that like stained water, that chartreuse kicker blade just gives it a little extra flash, especially if it's cloudy.
They say black.
I'm not a big fan of black. I do like this one though. This is the one Chad had laying here.
What is that?
Has a white kicker blade.
It's a small Terminator.
That's Terminator.
It's the finesse Terminator. Or
The War Eagle.
I'm sorry. War Eagle.
War Eagle. So it has the trailer.
The Bud Light Seltzer.
So it's got this is a white kicker blade, and I want to talk about white blades for a second.
Yeah.
Your white blades, or not just white blades, but any kind of painted blades. So gold blades, silver blades, yeah, we have a lot of light in here. They shine, right? What happens if you turn the lights out? You don't get any shine. So if you want to throw a spinnerbait and you got cloud cover, you might want to switch to a painted blade. So you go to an all white. Strike King makes some really good painted blades. Painted blade spinnerbaits, various colors.
They have different patterns on it.
Different patterns, like a sexy shaft.
Yeah,
it's and you get even more. This was just plain. This is a plain white. So when it's cloudy, yeah.
You saw that?
It's fine. It's fine, Martin. I give away the juice every now and then. You know when the last time I threw the spinnerbait was? About 3 years ago. So keep that in mind. So.
Oh, you didn't tell me that earlier though.
I mean, this is when I pulled out of my extra box.
My extra box.
I got a box. I got a 3,700 beat box full of spinnerbaits.
We know you.
I went digging through to look for some stuff to show off. So, but a white blade when it's cloudy out, it gives you more flash.
Would you go
So
double
anytime you have a painted blade
like this,
yes.
double white blade? So would you do silver, white, or gold and white, or just go all white?
All white.
All white.
Would you ever throw that in muddy water?
I've never tried it.
I've thrown white spinnerbaits in muddy water.
So it's definitely a little different than having like
Yeah.
flash from a little bit of sunlight in the mud. You just
I would throw
say like a matte color.
I mean, I throw.
You see, black is the most visible color in muddy water.
I think black is the most visible color.
Black and white.
Yeah.
Both black and white.
Yeah.
Has to
Yeah,
do
shark-
with if you've ever been
Chartreuse
to
is flat, shiny and
I think
bright
if
and
you've,
neon, but
if you've ever
the
been
muddy
to
water,
art
I think.
school, it has to do with brown is the combination of complementary colors, and then black and white are on both ends of the spectrum, the opposite ends of the spectrum. So they become the most visible.
Right.
Sure.
Brown is right in the middle when you talk
I
about
think-
They're
colors.
on complete opposite ends of color.
I think
spectrum, so
chartreuse
they have
makes
the
us-
most contrast.
Chartreuse makes us want to believe that it shows
Just because it's
good
bright
and muddy.
and vibrant.
Right, but I think black shows up better. If you ever throw black bait in muddy water, you can see it very well.
Right.
Chartreuse is actually a little harder to see, I think. That's just perfect.
I threw that bait. Last time I was on the show, I had this bait on too. This is my muddy water spinnerbait. Chartreuse and white,
But you got the Colorado where it bleeds on that.
double Colorado blades.
Uh,
Chartreuse and white. For some reason, chartreuse and white. They don't talk about black on
well,
here.
with that,
Well, I would have had a black spinner
with
bait
that,
with me, but I wasn't.
swim bait. With that swim bait trailer too, even more so. I mean, that's going to get noticed. If
Yeah, it
that
gives
goes
you
in
a-
front of their face,
it gives you a little help,
they're
but-
going to know it's there.
This is a pretty unintrusive paddle.
That's
small
swimming
paddle.
by. But that's swimming by a bass's faces like Chad going across the mud flats. You're gonna know it's there.
I mean, that's to me, muddy water visibility is my second box that I'm ticking off. First is vibration.
Right. Yeah, because the lateral line on the fish.
If it's muddy water, it's shallow water, and there's grass around you. I said this a couple weeks ago. I'll throw a buzzbait.
Yeah.
I'll throw a buzzbait on wood. I'll throw a buzzbait on grass. If the water's muddy, I'll throw a buzzbait.
I don't give
I'll
a
throw
too much
buzzbait all
shit,
day.
but I do know that you're a buzzbait guy. Let's just say that.
If in muddy water,
In the right conditions.
bites are going to be hard to come by anyway. So if you have muddy water, they're going to be hard to come by. It's tough fishing. It's always tough fishing in muddy water, especially if it's cold muddy water. But if I can throw a buzzbait, even in springtime, if I get the bites, they're going to be the right bites.
Yeah.
Not the Guggen plopper.
We don't even talk about them here.
So
We don't even talk about
I had to cut them off just to be.
If we-
That's terrible.
if I throw a buzzbait, I might, it's a gamble because I'm really fishing for 5 bites. I may only get 4 or 5 bites all day, but they're going to be better quality fish,
Good fish
especially in the springtime and late fall.
and a fun bite too.
I've caught fish on a buzzbait into the high 50s water temperature. That's really when it gets to
In the fall,
57, 58, fall and spring.
yeah. So
When
in
it
the
gets
fall,
to water temperature is really with 57 to 58 degrees is when I'll start throwing top water a little bit.
in the fall, up until like 50 degrees, that bite is on. Once it gets a little lower than that, it gets a little tougher. But as it starts dropping towards 50,
when you get into the 40s,
yeah, then it's a tough bite. But
Yeah.
better start throwing your silver buddies now.
shit, you go out in October and it's 55 degrees water temperature or something, you're gonna smack the shit out of them.
Oh, shit.
That's gonna be a
60 is probably the best.
60.
Right
Well,
around
that's
60.
a 55, but let's say 60 between 50. It's a slugfest, dude.
Dude, 50s you can already
Slug
bet.
bet.
I got
Get the right
I got
tide.
another bait on for a different topic.
You could stick your toe in the water and get bit, dude. When those conditions are right.
I mean, you're throwing swim baits in. You're probably throwing glide bait or something, aren't you?
He's a glider.
Well, I mean,
He's a rise
in
in
reality,
rise.
like one of my favorite things to throw is a crankbait. But I'm telling you, I think when we go into crankbaits, like we're gonna be here for like 2 or 3 episodes.
Oh yeah, that's
before we
gonna
get
be a
to
long.
crankbaits.
We're gonna have
What's
to
your-
break that down into.
We're gonna have to break that down. Honestly,
What's your favorite?
the spinner baits, in my opinion, as far as we're at right now, like there's even some more things that we can cover.
Oh yeah.
on
Oh, I could
spinner
cover
baits.
it. I could cover a ton.
Keep
ton
going.
more.
What's
I could
your,
keep going forever.
We talked about blades and we talked about heads. We've talked slightly about skirts. We talked very little about wire, so we could really go into more detail on some wire.
Went into a little bit of detail.
No, man.
On the wire.
Good.
And then one other thing that I would like to get into I think we're going to do a part
Modifying
2 on spinnerbaits, modifying them, but I want to go into brand specifics.
Yeah, we didn't even get. But not only that, but like we didn't even talk about.
Brands,
like,
but I mean, for personal opinion, like I said, on brand, especially with spinnerbaits, do I think you get little differences between different brands? Yes, but as much as I hate on War Eagle spinnerbaits catch fish.
They're good.
These
They're
catch
good.
fish.
The cup on that Picasso, the cup on the blades of that Picasso may be cupped completely different than my Megabass.
Well, you had this tied on recently because it feels strong on that.
Yeah.
You fishing my bait, dude? My bait.
Yeah, different vibrations from different brands. I mean, well, like I said, minor. Those are what I consider minor differences, because they're, for the most part, we're looking at if we look at these two Colorado blades, they're very similar. Yeah, you got a little more cup on this one. This actually has a very similar blade to the Stanley Wedge. If you were familiar with that spinnerbait, it's a that Megabass blade is very similar to the Stanley Wedge. Just the size and shape.
Dude, the SV3. Well, never mind.
Right, SV3. You guys keep talking about it, and
It's
I'll keep-
not that great.
I'll keep throwing my big mouth lure spinnerbait for
Okay.
$7.99 and keep whacking the hell out of them. And guess what? I've never broke one of these.
These break all the time. Dude,
Half the price and doesn't break.
I've
I
broken
know.
a bunch of Megabass spinnerbaits.
So I know Chad.
That's
is-
why I wanted to get into brand specifics, because some brands are going to work better for other people than other brands are. I'm willing.
It's all in your
I
head
like
sometimes. too.
how. I mean, I'm confident in Megabass, number one, but like number two, I know how their spinnerbait works, so I have confidence in it, and I kind of know how to treat it to preserve it a little bit more. But there's some spinnerbaits that might work better for somebody that wants to horse fish.
I horse fish.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True. Yeah.
So
And,
it's like there's just so many different routes that you can go into with these things. Like, god damn, I mean, everything from the head to the hook to the length of the wire to the blade. I mean, you can go into everything on spinnerbaits. And
Length of the arm plays a big difference.
Oh, yeah, it does.
And we can
And
talk
the-
about that
and
for a
the-
while. So if you look at where's your Megabass?
Mhm.
See how long,
On
see how
how
long the
fast
arm
you
is
can
there.
retrieve it.
Just this quarter inch difference
Yeah.
in the arm length makes a big difference in the amount of vibration that you get. But it also combines with the stiffness of the wire.
That's real.
So if you have a stiff wire, you may want a longer arm to get that same vibration that I get.
You'll have a tighter
shorter arm.
vibration pattern.
Tighter vibration with the shorter arm.
Yeah, well,
Longer arm
if
got
you have a shorter arm with a stiffer wire, it's going to be very,
Yes.
very.
Yes.
With a longer wire, even still with maybe more of a stout hook, you get. But it all makes a huge difference.
So Martin says he boat flips 6-pounders with a Megabass spinnerbait.
You're getting sleepy,
Mhm.
dude.
You hear that, Jack?
So
Martin boat flips 6-pounders with a Megabass spinnerbait.
that's right. Yeah, let's keep that down on the DL, Martin.
Martin, did that spinnerbait break?
Will you leave the bag? The SV3 is not a good spinner bait anyway, so we don't need to talk about
It is a garbage spinnerbait.
I will.
Yeah.
Anybody that's listening to this podcast, don't.
I have
go buy
fished
it.
a lot of different brands of spinnerbaits, and I will tell you,
Hey,
that
Martin,
in
what-
my personal opinion, the brand of spinnerbait that is the best is the one that you have the most confidence in.
True.
They all do the same thing.
Said very well. Very well said. Yes.
9 times out of 10 throughout the year, if it's a spinnerbait bite and I'm fishing this brand of spinnerbaits, 9 times out of 10 throughout the year, it's going to perform just as well as a spinnerbait.
What about this one?
There's going to be certain situations where one might produce better than the other. Well, that's got a different profile. There might be different situations where one performs better than the other on a given day. But when you average it out, law of averages, they're going to average out to being pretty much equal.
I feel like you also get a lot of times with the spinnerbaits, and not to go into chatterbaits, but the same thing with like the jackhammer compared to like the Z-Man original. As soon as you touch that cranking handle with a jackhammer, you feel that vibration. You get into almost identical things when it comes to spinnerbaits. Some spinnerbaits are going to take longer to start flashing. It's going to take more movement to get them flashing.
You got
I'm the type of guy, I like finding my bait where it falls down. As it's falling, it's slowly falling, and those baits are freaking spinning. So as soon as you touch that crank handle, it starts coming
Yeah,
up and it
find out.
starts moving. I don't want to have to freaking work the dog piss
I
out
like
of my
that.
bait
I'm the same way.
just to get the blades to run.
I like a
I hate
spinnerbait. I like a spinnerbait But I won't fish a spinnerbait unless the blades turn when it falls.
Yeah. Nope.
But
Because
to
I get
Paul's-
never mind.
to Paul's point is find a bait.
Never mind.
Find a bait you got confidence in. It's basically what Paul
Yeah,
said.
it doesn't. You don't have to just because a mega
we,
bass costs
we like the
$18.
mega bass. We like the mega bass spinnerbait. We catch them on it. Paul doesn't throw one, but he catches them on his what is it,
Big mouth lures.
So he catches them on his big mouth lures the same as we do. So he's basically saying get some confidence. It's
What I want everyone to remember is
blades. Colors.
especially for anyone, anyone
Not
who's watching
brand.
who may not be as, may not have as much experience with spinnerbaits, that just because one costs $18 doesn't mean it's better than anything else.
Right.
No, it means
Right.
nothing.
It might have a better quality hook. It may rust less. You know,
Right.
there's
Better
gonna be
paint job.
Better paint job. I mean,
Right.
the heads on these mega bass are beautiful. I
Right.
mean, that's a beautifully painted head.
That's a jackal.
Oh, is that a jackal?
No, the mega bass ones.
Mega bass one looks similar.
You got one somewhere. They were like everywhere. Now I can't find one.
That's a mega bass. That's the SB9.
Yeah, I can only go one.
What do you mean, dude? That's a freaking beautiful spinnerbait. Look at that
I
thing.
agree. But he was talking about this one. There you go, Paul. That's what he was looking
Yeah.
for right there.
So I mean, they got
Yeah.
they have beautifully painted. It's beautifully painted head. It's a great looking spinnerbait. It's got a very high quality look. That actually looks like it might be a Gamakatsu.
And the skirt's like sewn on. It's not that rubber that will break and you'll
No,
lose
that's
the skirt.
never. I'm pretty sure that's never. I'd have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure that's never. You can tell a flat spot in there.
Great.
Flat spot.
Tis an owner hook.
It's a higher quality hook.
Dude, Brian. Sorry, man. Go ahead, cook it.
Greg, I will tell you my honest opinion on War Eagle spinnerbaits, and they suck. They're the absolute worst piece of garbage that you can buy.
They
Not
rust
because
quickly.
Not because they don't catch fish, but they rust. The only thing that rusts faster than a War Eagle spinnerbait is a Booyah Cobra.
Yeah.
And
they
I don't
do.
want to.
They do. But dude, God,
I don't want a spinnerbait that rusts as soon as it touches the water.
when it's a fresh spinnerbait, it's a killer spinnerbait though.
Dude,
This is like this. This has been fished. There's paint mission on here.
I don't have that
No
many.
issue.
I horse the War Eagles. I don't have problems with War Eagles
Oh,
breaking.
I horse these. These don't.
I have problems with my freaking $20 mega bass spinnerbaits breaking.
They'll get mangled. But I've had these. I've caught catfish on these, and I probably have some in here that have actually like been.
Dude, I have War Eagles that I've been
And you
fishing
can see
for
where
years
you
now.
can see where I've bent this back. See how the paint has.
Yeah.
Because I've had to bend it back, and I mean that's no fishing. I have no issues with those.
4 fish. They all done.
War Eagles, yes, War Eagles will break, and they will break in one specific spot right here.
So I gotta
Yep.
address
They
Brian.
always break right here where for some reason where the arm meets this little bend right here. I have no idea why, but a buddy of mine fishes War Eagles all the time, and every single one breaks right here.
Yeah, Martin said he's broken. I gotta address Brian's comment, dude. I've got to. You won't see it no more. It was a while ago. I was trying to hold off, but so I was coming into a certain let's just say a certain creek or a certain channel. I don't know. I don't want to put it out there where I was at, but I'm like,
Here you go, Greg. I caught 8 fish on this on Saturday, and it still looks brand new. So maybe you should stop buying War Eagles.
dude. So I'm flipping. Yeah, it's not big. Yeah, but either way, it's a small, very small little creek, and I'm flipping in it. And here comes Brian and Brian Dyson, and he casts spinnerbait under my boat and hooks one. Swear to God, that's what his comment was about. He's like, "Oh, there's one." Like, caught it under my boat, dude. I was like, "Damn." Dude.
I still have a running bet with Tony. He said he'd give me $10 if I caught a fish from under his boat. So every time I come by him, I always make sure I make a cast.
That never
Tony-
ends until it
Tony
happens.
Schultz?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we were out on the flats. We were out on the flats.
Old,
one day.
AKA Rusty Hook.
Rusty hooks. We're gonna actually me and you. Are you in that too, Tony?
What?
Patrick or what's his name?
What are we doing?
Kevin. When we got a side bet going on with our wives.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
your
I'm
wives.
on that.
Yeah,
You're not doing
Yeah,
it?
I'm
yeah,
on
he's
that.
in on it.
My wife don't even fish like that. She likes to go out on the boat.
I don't think that's this Thursday.
She's probably
Kevin's
watching.
on
I
it.
will be here. I'll be on the shop next.
Yeah,
No,
it's
we're not
supposed to be-
gonna-
I think it's supposed to be
next
week.
Thursday.
Yeah, it's not this Thursday, but the following one. We got a side bet. I'm not telling him he gives. He'll probably like hook up with Jake or somebody. I'll probably lose to them. But it's like wives, husband and wives, or
Yeah, we're gonna have a
boyfriends and girlfriends, whatever, couples.
Yeah, we're
Couples.
gonna have a little
Couples battle.
So next Thursday
And
at the
then,
Thursday nighter in Joppatown.
Chloe,
And then
shut up!
it's for the losers. So like if Paul loses and Kevin loses, they have to sign $5 bill. So I have $5 bill that says Paul Batters. Or he'll have
So I have a-
or vote Rob one way or the other.
This actually started last Thursday night. I had a side bet with my buddy Kevin, one of my very good friends.
Man.
Who was fishing with his girlfriend. I always fish the Thursday nighters with my wife.
Kevin,
And-
he was on tonight.
He was
So
on today. I don't
we
know if he's still on.
Yeah.
But we had a side bet. And, we were both had couples fishing, so it was a $5 side bet, and we signed over the $5 bill for whoever loses. So
So
we
it's
thought
gonna
it was
be
a great idea.
me and
Yeah.
Phoebe, you and Candace,
Kevin.
Kevin and
Maybe Jessie, if she can make it.
okay.
And me and my wife
she-
already.
She has a
She
lot
said
of
she was going to be able to make it next week, but not this week.
maybe. I'm not sure. So
Who
we'll
is
find out.
that Kevin?
That's Kevin's girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then me and my wife
And
already.
you were- so we have
your
to
wife.
Yeah, me and my
Maybe
wife.
we can convince Greg to kick Scott off the boat and bring his wife.
Okay,
Get him
we
in
get
on
a
it.
$25 pot. In
Right,
there.
yeah.
All right, man. That'll bring it- that'll get you-
$25 pot of signed bills that we'll never spend.
I'll hang that shit on
That'll
the
get
wall.
you.
Oh, yeah.
That'll
I'll probably
get
make a hat out of it. It'd be like Paul Batter's hat.
My wife-
you $25 gets you about 10 chicken wings right now. So
Yeah. A half a gallon of gas.
yeah.
My my $5 bill from Kevin is up on my wall right now in my office. So
Oh, yeah.
Martin said
just
his
boyfriend
boyfriend-
went out there.
oh
So
shit.
when Martin just came out of the closet on freaking
He said my
on Best
boyfriend
Rear
can't do it
Radio
next
Live.
Thursday. It's Martin.
You guys doing couple
It's,
tournaments?
it's okay, Martin. The Thursday nighters are LBGQ positive. So.
He said,
Yeah.
of course. He said that his boyfriend can't do it, but his wife might. So you got, so you got to go, second pick,
Let's do it.
second round.
Yeah, I'm
Second
trying to see
round,
Martin down there with
Bring
the
the wife,
old
Martin.
Z8, the old Z8.
Hey, anybody brings their wife,
Z18.
anybody brings their wife to Thursday nighter can get in there. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. If anybody wants to get in on that,
On the couples.
that's all. We're just doing it's a $5 side pot. You lose, you sign over your $5 bill.
Yeah.
Both people sign it off. So husband and wife signs off the bill. I have a Sharpie that
Well,
I
Martin
keep
can
stays
bring
in my
his
boat.
boyfriend and me. And
I have
could do
beers
it.
that stay in my boot.
He has beers that stay in his boat. So if you need
Oh,
to drown your sorrows after your loss, you can down a couple beers.
So my boyfriend has a Triton.
Speaking of which, as we're getting down to the end of the show tonight, as we've gone actually double the amount of time that I kind of wanted to do for the
We always
series,
do.
but as we were talking about earlier, dude, it's like, dude, I don't care what bait we pick. We're gonna talk about that bait. Now there was obviously lots of side conversation like normal, which we didn't jump on, but
I try to keep it on track.
you did excellent. Man, you can just keep on going on these things, and like I'm definitely like I think we're gonna do a part 2 on spinnerbaits.
I think you can do a part 2. I think a part 2.
You can definitely do a part 2 with
You
some
can do a part 2,
shenanigans.
but
Walking bait.
I would say that
We're pretty close.
keep your my biggest advice for anyone is keep your spinnerbaits simple.
Yep.
You can see I have 15,000 different spinnerbaits that I throw in specific situations, but you really need 3 types of spinnerbaits and a couple of different colors in each one. You need a single Colorado. Single Colorado is a great bait in the springtime. You need a double Colorado. Good in the springtime, good in muddy water. And a double willow. You can get away with those 3 kinds of spinnerbaits.
Mhm.
And you just, keep your colors basic.
I know that the comments are going off.
So,
You
keep your,
You gotta call Tony Schultz.
keep your color, keep your colors simple. You need white, you need chartreuse and white, or a chartreuse type color. So a shad color, a chartreuse color, And then sometimes I like a little, just like maybe like a wild color. I don't throw them a lot, but sometimes I'll throw a black spinnerbait.
So
And just something that's a little bit different and just stands out a little more. It's not really you're not really matching the hatch with that. It's just something it stands out and you're getting that reaction.
It's different.
Kind of like the pink spinnerbait that was mentioned earlier.
well, yeah.
Same concept.
Right.
Pink smallmouth love pink for one thing, but it just catches them, dude. I swear to God, pink spinnerbaits catch them. Don't ask me why. You're not matching them. What hatch are you matching with a pink spinnerbait?
All of them.
Maybe.
Don't sleep on pink.
Right. 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink.
I am going to make a spinnerbait.
That's called
That has a 2/3 pink skirt and a 1/3 brown skirt. We're calling it the Shocker.
Yes. It'll be the most deadly
I'm
spinnerbait
done.
on
We
the
got that
market.
off there. Dude.
Oh my god.
It's called the bowling ball, bro.
Shit, too freaking funny, man.
Ooh, shit.
That is funny. I found some decent ones Sunday. We shall see if they bite Thursday. Brian laughed. Paul said, I love the pink, I swear. Or Martin said, I love the pink, I swear. Dan says, damn, Rob.
I don't know.
All right, y'all. We're a freaking hour, 51 minutes into this podcast. I was honestly thinking that we were going to do bait episodes for Tackle Talk Tuesdays in about 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's never going to happen.
It's just not going to happen, man. It's just not.
Me and Rob can talk about Senkos for longer than that.
We,
you know what, dude?
I
said that because it was like, it would be great. It would be great to like film a short series, like people have time to watch like 15-minute videos.
We can,
you know what I mean? It's like, bro, you can't talk about any of these baits in details and just talk for 15 minutes about it. Like you're not covering shit.
We can talk for 15 minutes, but we have to set ourselves an agenda. If we set ourselves an agenda and really plan out what we're going to talk about, we could cover the high points on like a spinnerbait in 15 minutes.
I've been trying to do that for 5 months now, and
no, we can't do 45 minutes. People will be like, man,
45 minutes would be great for.
We can't even go 2 days without
my
doing a
thought
podcast
process was
like
for
that.
Tackle Talk Tuesdays. Guys got work on Tuesdays and stuff. People aren't staying up until 10:30 at night. They gotta go to bed and shit. Get on there at 8, talk until 9 about a specific bait, and hop off. But I am definitely finding. I picked spinnerbaits tonight. Honestly, everybody, because. Not that it's a basic topic, but I felt that it was, something that we could probably
A good
cover
time of year.
and go over. It's a good time of year for it and probably get through it in about an hour or so. But, I mean, when you bring on bait experts like Rob and Paul over
You think
here,
that's a good one?
Yeah.
you can just go on and on and
I
on.
need them
and
this
on.
weekend.
No.
And
I need them this weekend.
look forward to that,
There's some
everybody.
weight baits, dude.
Every Tuesday now, or for the most part on most Tuesdays, we're going to be coming on live on Tuesdays. We're going to be going live on Thursdays. We're going to be going live on Fridays. Nothing schedule-wise has changed. Fridays are still exactly the same. We're still going to be live on Fridays. We're still going to be... What's up, Steven? Thanks, my brother. I hope you're doing well too, man. Thanks for commenting.
Leave some comments. Leave some comments too.
Yeah,
if you
great
want
comments.
If you want us to cover something specific, give us some ideas. We're more than happy to cover what you want to hear.
Send us a message on Facebook. Send us a message on Instagram. Comment in the comments right now or during the live show. Let us know what you guys would love to see and what you guys would love to learn about.
We'll start giving something away for the best comment of the night.
So far, as if Dustin doesn't win too many things already.
I don't know. Best comment of the night was I love the pink.
I don't know. What was that one earlier about Tony being working at?
Oh, yeah, that was pretty good.
Tony, that's a Martin.
That was
We
Martin.
might start that with the next episode, maybe. If I could time it right, I could order Tackle Warehouse.
Friday night live from iCast. We're gonna have Tony Schultz working the Guggen booth.
Oh my God, he's gonna be showing you guys the Goot Draft free ball.
The rough draft. the rough draft. Is it called? Is that what it's called now?
No, dude, I don't
thought
even know
you
what
serious.
I don't even know what the name is. I don't give a shit.
Rough
All I know is
draft.
Chris Zaldane has been fishing, and he's like, "Oh, it's not the same exact thing as the mag draft." I'm like, "Bro," Chris Zaldane called me out in a comment actually one day I was posting.
He replied to you.
He replied to me. I'm I made a comment on one of his posts when he was talking about throwing this new soft plastic paddle tail, and like I looked at the picture that he posted, and I was like, yeah, so original, bro. I was like, what do you call it, the goog draft? I was like, this guy commented, he's like, oh, when can I get this bait? And I was like, this bait's been out for like 30 years.
What do you say? Wait, what do you say?
And Chad is now banned from Chris Aldane's page.
Right.
So like, dude,
I've
Chris,
met him before. He was actually pretty
dude,
good.
Chris
guy.
Zaldane messaged back. He's like, when's the last time you've ever seen a paddle tail swim bait fished in 30-foot plus of water? He's like, you're in the know about this bait. And I was like, so you took a mag draft and you put a lead weight in it? I was like, cool.
So you changed the hardness, man.
I was like, yeah, you
I like
changed the hardness.
So
Personally-
your comment,
Personally, I like Chris Aldane.
Chris, dude, I'm not gonna lie, like, dude, I
Nice
really,
dude.
really,
I've met him before.
I
I've
really,
met him
really
before.
like
Nice
Chris
guy.
Zaldane.
Nice
Like,
guy.
I think
Nice
he's
guy.
like cool. He's in the guns. He's like an American dude. But God, I'm sorry, he's a fucking sellout.
Want to hear
The whole Guggen thing is like, God, Guggen sucks ass.
Wanna hear
I'm about to
something?
go on a rant because I'm
Nope.
getting mad.
I'm
Guggen
gonna
fucking sucks.
let me cut you off on that, Randy. You want to hear something cool about Chris Aldane? So he just finished 4th in the Elite Series,
Yeah, he's
fishing
a
for
beast.
smallmouth.
He's a beast.
So
Yeah.
guess what he was throwing?
The mag drive.
No, not anything.
The dude go get swimming. The dude go get
A
swimming.
3/4 ounce chatterbait with no trailer. He's
What?
throwing a 3/4 ounce chatterbait with no trailer, fishing for smallmouth.
Louise said rainbow bait.
All it was the
It was-
blade and the hook.
Well, in the skirt. But he
I fished
he
with no trailer
custom
before.
tied the skirt to make it more sparse and just not as thick as like a normal chatterbait trailer,
Right.
thick like that.
I
Was
fished
it-
chatterbaits with no trailer before.
Was it a Guggen?
No, it was a hand. All he said was it was a handmade chatterbait that he made himself. It was a chatterbait that he made himself. It was something that he put together, fishing a 3/4 ounce chatterbait for smallmouth.
He was fishing shallow too.
Yeah, he was
He was
fishing
pretty
shallow. So he said the 3/4 ounce allowed him to keep it down as deep as he needed it to go. He was fishing 6 to 8 feet of water. It allowed him to keep it down in that 5-foot range where it needed to be, which is where when
It's
the
all
guys are
St.
fishing like
Lawrence.
he was out in Lake Ontario, way out in Lake Ontario, but so he was fishing fresh fish that don't get pressured a lot, but thought that was pretty cool. I mean, that's something that I've fished chatterbaits for smallmouth before, but I've never caught 27 pounds of smallmouth on a chatterbait either. So
Is that true? The Z-Man Hell Racer?
I just saw that video.
Oh my God.
Just saw that video the other day. That is
Bro.
the dumbest looking bait I've ever seen.
But I'm buying
Wait.
one. But I'm buying one. That's the thing. Like it's like a top water chatterbait that has a spook dragon behind it. And
No,
I'm
the
buying it.
chatterbait blade's on the back.
Is
So,
it?
do
Dude,
you remember-
it's like a pencil bait that's
It's a
submerged
pencil
with
bait.
Do you remember the Strike King Rage Blade?
Look what you did, Martin.
The Strike King Rage Blade that had like that weighted chatterbait blade?
Yeah.
So it has one of those on the back of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw
yeah,
this.
yeah,
Now
yeah.
I think about
And then
it. I
it's
did
like
see
a
that.
pencil on the top.
Dude,
And
thank God somebody could come up with something original.
the line connection is under. So there's like
I saw it.
So this is like
yeah,
the bait.
It's a joke.
so this is the front of the bait.
I'm buying one.
The line connection is on the bottom, like back here, so that it pulls the bait up to the surface. So it's a flat surface on the bottom. So with the line connection down here, it tilts the bait like this, which causes it to plane out to the
Okay.
top.
Mhm.
And then the chatterbait blade, like just flags in the back. It looks so. I'm not gonna lie. When they Susquehanna Fishing Tackle has a video on their Facebook. If you want to look it up. And they're
I
actually
think
casting it in the
iCast is
pond.
actually posting shit already.
It is. So that's where Susquehanna Fishing Tackle is.
Yeah.
They're both at ICAST and they're
Is SQT down there?
SFT. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're down there. Georgia and Mike are both down there, and they're actually with one of the Z-Man reps and casting it in the pond, so you can see the action of it and everything. Pretty cool video.
Do you think the bait's any good though? Or
I
are you gonna buy one?
I don't know.
I'm gonna throw
George
one.
said it's
throwing one.
George just looked at it.
Look, if you guys aren't
He looked over
if
at
nobody else is
George from
throwing one,
Susquehanna Fishing.
it's a
They're
different
at
profile.
ICAST right now. Him and Mike are both
Oh,
at
they
ICAST. And he looks over at Mike and goes, "This is gonna wreck stripers."
It might.
It's gonna wreck stripers. All right,
So-
y'all. We're coming to the end of our podcast once again. I want to. You want to show us something? That's a cigarette.
It's a cigarette, but it ain't working now.
I want to thank the people that freaking support Bass and Beer Radio. Thank you guys so much for sending us
Watch
baits.
Watch it.
I still see
There
it.
we go.
Oh, that's crazy.
Right.
Magic.
I
I want
still
to
see it on
thank.
camera.
It wasn't on camera, or it was.
It was.
I want to thank the guys that sponsor us on this channel. Tyler with UMA Lure Company has sent us some crankbaits that we've been doing some testing on, catching some fish on, and these are just absolutely beautiful crankbaits with a deflection rate unlike any other crankbait that I have personally thrown.
His Pudge square bill and little
Put that
Pudge
back.
square bill are hands down the best square bills I've ever.
Yeah, they're just absolutely fantastic. Big shout out to Tailored Lures. This is the Tailored Lures Frog. I think might be the
Man, I think
model,
we're sick.
the Model D, possibly. And this frog is just beautiful. Number one, as you just heard Paul say, the colors on this are just fantastic. This frog is a beautiful frog. That little purple and blue, the little rainbow tail on that. Very small profile frog right here. It's a very small, it's a lighter profile. The hooks on this frog are, I swear to God, the hooks on this frog are the stoutest hooks I've ever felt on a hollow body frog in my
They're
life.
like saltwater hooks.
They're like salt.
That's
They
what
really
remind
are.
me of.
They're designed for snakehead, so he put saltwater hooks on there, I believe, and it's got
Yeah, they look like saltwater hooks, but they're
it's got a thick
Yeah, they were.
but a soft membrane, I would say, or a skin on this frog. And beautiful frog, Warren Taylor with Tailored Lures. Find him on Facebook and Instagram and check out some of his frogs, man. I mean, that's only just one of them. He's got several different models, and they're all fantastic frogs. And then, like I said, we have our crankbait selection here from UMA Lure Company that Tyler sent us. We've been doing some filming with these and some testing with these, and these are beautiful lures. Deflection rates like I can't even describe.
I've been fortunate enough to have those in my box for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
I had some of the first ones that Tyler made, and they are fish catching crankbaits.
And then
They are just absolutely
yeah,
amazing.
they really, I've only had them for a little while now, and I was throwing them for a couple. I threw them with Tony on the boat up in Conowingo, and I must have caught like 15, 20 smalls on them. I mean, like, it wasn't the bite for that particular day on the biggins.
Yeah.
But God, dude, the fish are on them, and I'm pretty sure Tyler outfits all of his stuff with owner stuff. I think they're owner STs.
I think he's using VMCs.
VMCs.
I think he's using the VMC hybrid,
Okay.
which is a really nice treble hook.
Yeah, it's a great treble hook. He's using good hardware on all his stuff.
I will
And,
say he did take some advice from me, and he upsized his treble hooks like one size.
Uh-huh.
What size hook is that? What's that?
To number 5.
The number 5?
And then another
Number
huge
6 to
shout
number
out
5,
to
which really improved this a lot.
Bass Munitions Lures. BassMunitionsLures.com. Check out the link down here. Check that shit out. Go on there. All your soft plastic needs, man, from Bass Munitions. From your drop shot worms to your jig trailers to paddle tails. Mr. Larry Payne is going to be working on making some jig heads and some swim bait heads and all that good stuff currently. So go in there, check it out. I'm pretty sure they still have a summer sale going on.
Nice baits.
We got a
I
wait.
did fish them on Saturday in my
Did you?
tournament. Just
We got
I didn't catch anything on them, but just being able to, I was throwing that worm on a drop shot, and
We got a
it's
second
so-
place.
it's
On
a
that.
really
We
nice-
got a second place on that bait.
Yeah.
Or
second place
when
on
we
this
were in the
bait.
money this year. Yeah.
Rob and Evan had a
Really
second
nice.
place on this bait, and then I think it was a week later, Tony and Skylar went out with a specific bait up on Conowingo and put a 4-pound smallmouth or a 3-pound
Really?
smallmouth and a 4-pound largemouth
Yep.
in the boat with
Fishing
one.
that Thursday.
It's a very, very soft plastic.
Fantastic baits.
Has a lot of action for I've only fished it on a drop shot, and I can see fishing it, maybe fishing on a shaky head or even a white Texas rig with like a 16th-ounce weight in the grass. I can see fishing doing that too.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to give away too much juice there, but
Right.
but I can see that being
Mhm.
that particular worm being
It was.
a really good bait on Upper Bay.
We are
Gave us a little.
it's
push.
the same place.
Yeah.
we're super blessed here at Bass and View Radio as we're into doing this for about five months now, 5.5 months, going on 6, and we've picked up some really incredible people to take care of us from Bass Munitions, UMA Lure Company, and Tailored Lures, which pretty much in a lot of times it covers all of our water columns.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic, and they're awesome. They're supportive. They come out with great products. Like I'm honestly, if you guys can't tell, I'm a bougie asshole when it comes to some of the fishing stuff.
Oh, he
I'm
100% is.
a bougie asshole when it comes to some of the fishing stuff, and
I told him I had an
like,
Arashi glide bait one time, and I think he almost killed me.
like I wanted to puke in the parking lot. But
Only glide bait I've ever gotten bitten on.
everything that we have here sitting in front of you, like I swear to God, like I wouldn't bullshit any of you guys. All of these baits are fantastic baits that support local small time people.
Absolutely.
They're not baits that are just on Tackle Warehouse and all this crap. You're not supporting Z-Man. You're helping somebody else pay their bills and put food in their kid's mouth and food on the table. And that's important to me as well. And you get a really quality product out of that. So please. Go ahead.
One thing I'll say that I will say about Chad is Chad will not support a low quality bait. Like you
Ever.
said, he is bougie.
100%.
And if it's I got Chad gave me a pack of these Bass Munitions worms to try. It's a good quality bait. I will tell you straight up. It doesn't matter if it's a sponsor bait or not. I will tell you straight up how I feel about a bait. It's the bait's got a good action. It's very soft. Obviously, if it's very soft, people that's going to come with being not as durable. But it's got such a good action. Very good bait. The UMA crankbaits. Tyler makes an amazing crankbait. It's one of the best balsa crankbaits that I've ever fished.
On the market.
He actually works with. So he actually supplies. Just to throw some of Tyler's business out there, he actually supplies Todd Alton. If you know Todd Alton, Todd Alton is a professional fisherman.
Yeah.
He supplies Todd Alton's shop with crankbaits.
Really?
His crankbaits are sold in Todd Alton's shop. So that you have an Elite Series angler that is providing or that is promoting these baits. They're a good bait.
Yeah.
You have somebody who's been able to fish literally. That's been around for a while and has been able to fish every kind of crankbait. It's an amazing bait.
I can't sit here on the mic and tell you guys how blessed I feel to be able to do
How do
this
you
and
pronounce that
have
Methylate.
some of the amazing sponsors that we do from UMA and
You're right.
Warren with Tailored Lures and Bass Munitions. It's been great, and we're looking to give you guys the best content possible and really cover everything. I'm really looking forward to getting into our crankbait episode, which will be
We gotta push that back.
That's gonna be a maybe probably another
That might
month
be
or so
5
down the
episodes.
road.
Yeah, that
we're
could
gonna have
go
to-
on for a while.
I mean,
We're gonna have to narrow it down to
the crankbait
Square
episode will
bills.
probably be a couple of
Right.
months from now in reality, but I'm really
Balsa,
looking forward to it
Me-
just
Yeah.
because of how much I love Tyler's crankbaits. I just absolutely love Tyler's crankbaits, and then I'm a huge fan of Warren's frogs too.
I need to give you some of those.
Don't
Yeah, he won't give up no
Don't,
baits,
dude.
man.
I won't sit on this podcast and lie to a single person to your face. I'll be 110 honest with you guys. I was not big on throwing frogs. Okay. I started doing this podcast.
He throws one frog.
I throw one frog.
Prior-
I'm not
prior.
big on throwing frogs. If I can avoid throwing a frog, I would have avoided throwing a frog. I got on this podcast. I got involved with Warren, with Taylor Lures, and he sent us out some frogs, and I started fishing these frogs, and my love of frog fishing was revitalized.
Oh yeah.
I mean, dude,
How could you?
Right. I know.
I
It's
know,
like really
I
easy.
know.
love it.
you get confident on things, but I'm just
live
saying,
for frogging.
yeah,
If there's a
this is a
frog bite-
fantastic frog, and it brought me back to the life of frogging. So, kudos to Warren for making a fantastic product and supporting us. Get in contact with him and get your hands on some of those frogs.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get some of those.
Yep, you absolutely have to get some of those.
Black Senkos matter.
Black
Yeah, that's like our new thing.
Black
That's what
Senkos matter,
I-
Black
I wonder if my
Frog
wife's
matter.
still on
They
watching.
all.
Hey,
No.
Marie.
No, Greg. Black and blue Senkos matter.
Let's
That's
see.
like a whole new thing. No, we got a new slogan. You don't have the 15 pounds ain't shit going across the screen today.
I know we had so much like juice down at the bottom of the screen with
have,
the baits and everything that
No,
I
we
thought
have, we have a new one that we came up with tonight, right? Stop setting the hook like a bitch.
I believe it was actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Tony needs to stop setting the hook like a bitch.
Stop setting the hook like a bitch. You might get more than 15 pounds in the boat.
Listen, this is Bass and Beer Radio. We're at the end of our episode, and what we want to say as a group is stop setting the hook like a bitch, and 15 pounds ain't
Hey
shit.
Nathan,
Good point, Nathan.
we
We'll look into that.
I need to find out how to do that because I would like to put it on my YouTube channel.
We are absolutely 110% on YouTube and Twitch right now as
Right.
we speak.
Oh, nice.
Yes, we
But-
are.
Sweet.
I would like to be able to put it on my YouTube as well. Is there a way to do that?
Yeah,
Restream.
yeah, we
We'll figure out a way.
I don't know if we can connect profiles or anything like that, but we can
I'll give you my
definitely
login or whatever you need.
We
I
can
trust you.
definitely,
We're buddies. Like, what
we
the
can
hell?
we can definitely upload the
Stole my
videos and
spinner
then get them
cable.
over
It's still cool.
to your thing as well. So that's a great thought, Nate, and we are doing that currently. If anybody has any other ideas they can think to help us expand and grow, and anything that anybody would love to see, if you would love to learn about it, I'm telling you right now, if you guys suggest it and I don't know about it, I will learn about it and bring you the information that I learned. I'll talk to this dude. I'll talk to this dude. I'll go on Google. I'll message freaking I'll message Greg Hackney and he'll tell me. Okay.
Greg Hackney will tell you. That's your boy now. You hanging out with Hackney?
I will get the information for you.
I'll know.
Yes, don't worry about it. And I'll overnight you.
I don't
okay?
work in.
Okay.
I don't work.
Can
I don't work in
I?
general IT. You know, I work in IT.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, is that what you do?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he can help. us.
Mostly medical IT.
You know what? Maybe we'll reach out to Paul Batters.
I'm a giant
He'll be able to
nerd,
help
so.
us. Check out my YouTube channel, please, if you get a chance. Riverboat Rob.
River
Subscribe, like,
Boat
please.
Rob
I need
on YouTube.
You have
to get down to that.
you're on a whole bunch of my videos, dude.
I know.
I mean, I mention you all the
Yeah.
time. Okay, you do
Well,
watch
at least one
them.
anyway.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
I
want
watch
to
them.
film. So
You know what? I just realized. I realized I wasn't subscribed to your YouTube the other day, so I made sure I subscribed to it.
thanks a lot, Paul.
Yeah. I always thought I
Anybody
was.
else, please subscribe as well.
Well, I
Like
always
Paul
watched.
Batters.
I always watched your videos,
Don't
but
even hit
but,
subscribe.
but I must have never hit the subscribe. So I did.
I got
made sure
like
I
things
subscribed
that
to
pop
it.
up that say subscribe and like tell people like please subscribe, and Paul's like, oh,
I just
Rob,
need to-
Rob said what's up to me,
I'm gonna start.
and it clicks off of it.
I'm gonna start putting out some YouTube content.
Facebook, YouTube,
Give me the first second,
Instagram,
I can
Twitch.
edit it up for you.
Hit the
It's
like
film.
button, hit the subscribe button. Do me a big favor if
You
you
put it
guys
on
are
my
on
channel.
Facebook. I know a large portion of the guys that are watching are on Facebook. Hit that share button. You have no idea how much that means to me to hit that share button and broadcast it
Sorry,
out
bro.
to maybe some of your friends that might want to get into fishing and learn a little bit about fishing in this area. But that wraps up this episode of Tackle Talk Tuesdays. Look for us to go live on Thursday around 5:30 as we launch. I'll go live as I do every week for our
5:30.
launch.
Yeah.
And then I'll be live again at 8:30 for bass fishing weigh-ins on Thursday.
Hopefully, I will be in the way in with a good bag.
So
Well, you guys
hopefully,
I won't
I
be
can't
there
go
this
to
week,
the
so you guys
one.
have a chance.
unfortunately,
Yeah, Tony's
unfortunately,
been
Paul won't be there this Thursday, so maybe we'll have a chance of winning.
If it's flipping bite, I don't care if Paul's there or not. It's on, motherfuckers.
And
I can flip
Yeah,
with the
man.
best of them, buddy.
Me too, buddy. Come on, bring it
and
on.
per normal, our schedule hasn't changed. Friday we'll be live at 8 o'clock again to go over all the shenanigans, and that's going to be the repeat schedule for Bass and Beer Radio until the tournaments end towards the fall.
No, we might keep them going too. We'll talk about another.
And that's going to be on another episode.
Yeah,
Some of the things that we have planned coming up. So remember,
Yeah,
Tuesday-
we gotta save it for you. He's
Yeah.
ready to shut it down.
Yeah.
Next
Tuesday
time.
nights, Thursday nights, Friday nights. We're live. We're bringing you the juice. If you're fishing in the area, this is the podcast you want to watch. Peace, y'all. Good night. Thanks for
y'all.
watching.